we'll see where it goes.
And who will you pick at this early stage, or who do you think this position?
Welcome back, guys, to the stream. Today we are watching live Norway chess tournament. Many great games on our hands, and the main one is Magnus against Hikaru, of course. And we are watching today with the commentary as well, so we will have a lot of fun. I won't be able to move to another window because it will immediately show white window as you will see it, just the way with how OBS works. So I will be reading your chat directly from OBS here. I don't know if there is another way to do this kind of things, this kind of streams, but for now I see it this way. So we are watching Alireza and Fabiano for now. Magnus and Hikaru opened with a Spanish game. Magnus opened with Spanish game, Archangelsk variation. So I won't be able to switch from game to game because this will mess up the whole deal. So I hope you understand. And we will see. The game's just started. This is a classical game, and I just saw, by the way, the score from I saw the score from Magnus and Hikaru. The score is actually 16-1. I don't know if this is all classical tournaments or something like this, but Magnus leads against Hikaru with the score of 16-1, so it's crazy. As you can see, this is some boards here doing right now. Magnus played d4 from the table. You see bishop moved back to a7. Magnus is on the move. Hikaru playing really fast. Looks like he knows his theory. He didn't want to play Berlin variation. People were talking about is it going to be another fast draw, but nothing. So we had Firuzia Caruana, we had Dinglir and Pragnananda, Vaishali, Koneru, we have Lei Tingye against Pia Kramling, Anna Kramling's mother, famous chess YouTuber, and Venjun against Muzichuk. These are the main boards and the main games today. These are all classical rounds. If they are drawn, the players play Armageddon rounds, so until the winner is decided. So as you can see, so I won't be talking too much. So for now, let's watch this. I will be watching your chat from of course, live here. Your chat will be visible here, guys, so you can chat if you wish.
But today, he seems ready. What Hikaru pointed out in the confessional booth is that many of the players in
Magnus
the fields played in the candidates,
looking
and
at
have this backlog of
the board
ready from the candidates, meaning that what we saw yesterday by Hikaru and also probably what we are seeing today by Hikaru is still from his candidates tournament preparation. And that helps because for the candidates tournament they must have been preparing for months and months. It's such an important event, while for Magnus his last classical tournament was half a year ago at the European Team Championship. So how do you see it, Danny, when it comes to Hikaru surprising Magnus? Is this a good surprise, or is he getting himself a bit into a dubious territory?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, great points again, Hikaru.
Commentators are Danny Rench, Anna Rudolph, and Johan Kachowska. As always in this...
top players are playing now, meaning forget what the computer is saying early on, honestly, because they're going so deep, and often with engines that are even better than what we have, despite it being pretty powerful at chess.com. The point is they're playing
Danny
chess,
Rench,
we're
yes,
playing
Anna
chess right now,
Rudolph,
a little
and
bit
David Howell. I almost forgot about David Howell. David is a great commentator as well, and always entertaining watching these three. Jovanka as well. Jovanka is one of the main.
What makes Tennis Warehouse Europe the best
Oh my
online
gosh,
tennis store?
this
We
thing.
offer the best brands and widest selection of tennis gear.
Magnus is not taking that
This is annoying, but we are back.
We were correct in the pregame that the last decisive game between these two guys was from 2019. So if you're just tuning in, we talked about a 14-1 record for Magnus Carlsen in the 15 decisive games these two have had, 26 draws. But the last decisive game was 5 years ago. They've drawn almost all the games since post-pandemic.
Oh my god, I just realized something. Sorry about that.
The streamer, his retirement has been great.
Sorry about that.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, I mean, it's fun for us. Like I said.
Oh my gosh. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't check. I just realized that I have to change my. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that.
Or maybe talk about what do you think are some of the missteps Magnus might be trying to avoid.
Yeah, I just want to point
Okay,
out
we're finally back.
On this last move from Hikaru. So if we just backtrack a few turns, we saw bishop c5, which normally signals the archangel. Black normally brings the knight out to f6, but Hikaru put a special twist on it. He put his knight on e7, and the knight on g6 does a good job of defending e5. However, on this last turn where we saw Magnus go in for that long think, what he might have been mulling over was whether to capture this black knight on c6 and to simply grab a pawn on e5. And in terms of pitfalls,
Okay.
asked the question whether white should try to avoid certain lines. I think this is a wise sidestep. I'm not sure exactly what black should be doing, whether it's queen e7 to go for this pawn or whether it's to trade queens. And then I'm not sure, just to bring the bishop out. And just
Already looking at some lines here.
to my eyes, this would have been tempting. It doesn't look too risky for white. You have an extra pawn. You can defend these pawns relatively simply.
One of the ways that this game could, of course, turn out. David Howell discussing how this game can
it's more likely something Hikaru has studied deeply
become, but Hikaru, it seems like Hikaru knows his openings very well. He mentioned that the way he was, especially in the candidates tournament, he was mentioning that he really was not sure about. He was not sure about. He was not sure about the Spanish game, especially against Vidit. He mentioned that he didn't want to play. He didn't want to go into Spanish games. He was worried about people, entering some new territories, and he was scared about that. But so we have Queen f6. Hikaru is playing really fast. Wow, that's looks like he knows his preparation. He played it really well. He played it really well.
Humanly normal, just a playable, just a normal.
So we don't have a queen trade. Obviously, Magnus doesn't want to draw as well. That's pretty much.
Because he keeps making a move and standing up. So I wouldn't be surprised if within the next few or couple of minutes we would have Hikaru telling us how this preparation is going so far.
I'm waiting for it. I'm like, I feel deprived that he hasn't gone into the confessional booth yet. No, I'm kidding, but I totally agree.
Oh, by the way, there is a thing called confessional booth. So it's incredible how chess evolved. Now you have confessional booths where this is like a live show, like Big Brother here, and people are players come to the confessional booth and then they speak about their thoughts on the opening while the game is playing, and you have a feeling like a reality show that you are there with them, so their thoughts. It's incredible. I really like it. Makes chess way more fun than usual. That's the thing. It's amazing.
Let's see what we get in a complex middle game in the Archangel, and I think it's a little telling.
Archangel Spanish variation.
Then again, a pawn is a pawn. I would have been tempted.
You want to go back to that line and just take the pawn. Okay.
No. But I mean, it's clear here Hikaru is deep in prep still, partly because of the clock, partly because.
Yeah, Hikaru is really good. Obviously, he prepared this line. He knows it well, but Magnus is thinking. Although I'm not doubting that Magnus has prepared this as well. Magnus surely knows what he's doing. We will see. I always root for the underdog, so in this game Hikaru is an underdog, so I'm rooting for him. I don't know about you guys. Who are you rooting for? And do let me know.
And that's why Magnus is in thought here because
I would like to know your
pawn
thoughts.
blocks the bishop blocks development and the rooks, and so it's kind of like the old lady who swallowed the fly. It leads to a chain reaction of regrettable decisions, right? So that's an interesting decision. It's all based around the idea that the d4 pawn is a problem for white, right? So black is all in on this queen maneuver to try to go after the d4 pawn, and what an interesting position that would be.
Yeah, really interesting. I mean, you could imagine Magnus sacrificing a pawn now, trying to come after the black queen with his knight. But yeah, this would only get more complicated and more likely walk into Hikaru's prep. I love that feature chat a moment ago. Title Tuesday, yeah, suddenly without Hikaru, without Magnus in the field.
I
It's
was
opened up.
wondering actually if Hikaru would try to make it to the late title Tuesday, or what time does it start? Like local time? Now it's
He's got hours.
5:20. Yeah, he can
Yeah,
still finish his game.
Believe it or not, Tuesday is a day where I tend to not follow the Title Tuesday action in real time anymore. It's a little too stressful for me, so I tend to look at Title Tuesday after. I don't even remember. I think yes, of course. Let's not talk about Title Tuesday. Let's back up to the bird's eye view.
It's a valid point though, because Hikaru won Bullet Brawl.
Let's see quickly the other classical games. Okay, so Firuzia Caruana.
We are actually going to sneak in.
Well, we
first
have some-
very quick break. We promise it'll be fast because we have a game to unpack. Look at that wild position.
Yeah, Firuzia Caruana.
And Fabiano Caruana.
Firuzia's king is on G2. What has happened there?
Don't go anywhere.
What has happened there?
24 Norway chess and Norway chess women is just getting started, and we'll be right back.
Here is Magnus Carlsen arriving at Norway Chess Open. Here is Hikaru. Ding Liren. Is this the handicap format where black has 7 minutes? No, I don't think this is any handicap format, by the way. I don't know what do you mean by... Sorry, let me just see if I can change my... Just give me a second, please. I will actually do it like this, so it's better for you guys. I'm not sure about which format are you talking about, Atos? A handicap format. I haven't heard about that. What is that, my friend? So now we are in the commercial break. I cannot change that. Obviously, this is directly made by these people.
I'll be fine. So I could like drop down and do 10 on move 1? Well, yeah, we start the clock and then you just decide when you want to go.
By the host, so I cannot change that. Let's see if I can move these things. Oh yes, you meant Armageddon. Yes, if yeah. Armageddon is played only later if there are no if there is no victor decided. Then it's played. Sorry about that. I will cut off the. Yes, Armageddon. Actually, last round had a lot of Armageddons. Yes, you are correct. Yeah. Armageddon is always crazy because it's much. I believe it's like 15 minutes per player, and one of the players, I believe, black player has to make a win, as I recall, something like this. So black player has to make a win. He cannot draw, something like this. It's really, yeah, tiebreaker, exactly. So you cannot have a draw in classical. Basically, if the draw happens, you have to play Armageddon round, and it was a lot to yesterday. Yeah. Levi Rosman doing some push-ups. As you can see from the standings, Magnus and Hikaru are tied for the first place. Pragnanda as well. Fabiano, Ding, and Alireza have 1 point. So it's gonna be a fun tournament. Thank you for joining, by the way, Atos. I appreciate you. I don't know if I will be streaming all the way through, but I will try my best, and I have enough time, so hopefully we will be able to cover this tournament fully. every day. Today I feel really rested. Had a nice sleep. Hello Pintu, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. Gotham is an elite teacher, love his content. Yeah, Gotham is really amazing YouTuber and really interesting, really good teacher as you've mentioned, but also his games are really entertaining. He's a good entertainer, I must say. Pintu, welcome. Hopefully you are enjoying the games. Now they will check Firuzia's and Caruana's game because this is some wild position that happened on their board. We will see it together right now. After this commercial break, Danny Wrench, the face of chess.com, and many of the other grandmasters. Chess.com really made a name of themselves. So as you can see from the boards, guys, Firuzi and Caruana, really incredible game. Something crazy happened there, and they will be checking it out. As you can see, Yu Wenyan already, by at least computer evaluation, doing worse against Pia Kramling, Anna Kramling's mother. You probably heard about Anna Kramling. She's the famous so-called inventor of the cow opening. She plays it a lot on her streams, and her mother is playing. She's a really strong GM, playing against a really strong Chinese grandmaster.
We've got a million matchups. I could keep naming them, but instead I'm just going to say thanks for being with us, Danny, Anna, and David here. All right. I want to jump right back in to this crazy Firouzja Caruana.
And now we will see Firouzja and Caruana game. Let's see how this happened, this crazy line. Let's see what happened there.
Upper section that everyone can see. Not even sure what color that is. It's like orange. But is it still theory or not, David? And what is going on in that position?
Probably they will check and see how this position just happened. We will see right now.
17. We were actually here just 5 moves ago, but it's exploded. Let's backtrack, do an action replay.
Yeah, let's see what happened.
Saw bishop to e4, the last move from Fabiano.
So attacking the rook, okay.
Unless you're extremely well prepared. It is a known move. It's been played before. I can confirm according to the database. Attacking the white rook. White does not want to take this bishop because you'll be left with a slightly awkward-looking offside knight on h4, for example, a trade, and this knight would be hit, and you'd have to lose a bit of time retreating. So, understandably, Firouzja played the move f3, asking this bishop a question. And
so Firouzja played f3.
I've seen, this is where the novelty comes in. Pawn to c4, and it's given an exclamation point.
Okay, so Fabiano Caruana actually created a novelty here in the opening. With c4 move, knight h5, attacking this knight and giving up your knight.
White knight on h4 is not defended. I don't think you really have time to retreat it because black would happily trade off the bishop on f4 and most likely be left with an advantage. So g takes h5.
Yeah, as you can see, g takes on h5, bishop takes on h4 with a check. King f1 and Fabiano. What did Fabiano play?
Appreciate the beauty of this for a second.
Now we're looking at this. Now we're looking at this and see what.
His bishop is attacked, and instead of moving the piece that's about to be captured, he also hangs another piece.
The best way to solve a problem is to make it bigger. Sometimes that's the case, and so black is like, I have a problem with my bishop. Let's make this problem bigger by putting another piece under attack. But no, jokes aside, it's crazy, and yeah, the bishop on e7 hitting the knight. The fact that it's check. That's kind of the key point for fans trying to make sense of the position. So,
but the position is completely equal, by the way. The position is completely equal, at least by computer evaluation. Fabiano probably knows, since he went into this variation, he knows what he's doing. I'm not. I do not doubt that he knows what he's doing.
Similar in the sense that there were a lot of hanging pieces, and instead of moving the hanging piece, he had to hang even more pieces.
Yeah, 2 problems are better than 1. I agree about this position.
Now let's see.
Ultimately, yeah, a set of pieces did get traded, as Danny mentioned. This is a check. So
this is a check. Okay, king f1, and what did Fabiano played?
Is lacking squares. There's only one safe one. If you go back to f5, then e4 would trap your bishop.
So that would be a bishop trapped. So you offer a trade.
And now king to g2 is the
3 3 6 1 7 3. 4, 5.
You're well prepared, or very
So white
trusting in your
2,
calculations?
4, 6, 8. So black has this isolated pawn that will probably be a target, as David mentions here. But yes, black has his king is unsafe, at least for now. A kind of this structure is ruined here on the h file for white. Now I'm thinking maybe this is not so bad for white, because this king is safe. This bishop, I mean, it looks dangerous. Cricketo, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. We're just looking the game of Norway chess round 2. Now they are watching the game of between Alireza Firuzi and Fabiano Caruana. I don't know. What would you like guys prefer here? Would you like black or white here? What would you prefer? Danny Rench now mentions that maybe e5 is the next move for black. Obviously, when the king is in the center or he hasn't castled, this is the way to go to try and open up the position. That's a smart idea here for black. We'll see how Fabiano will react. The material is equal and everything here is equal. And yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about white right now. Just because you have an open g file, this king is pretty safe. I don't see. You have 2 pieces on the board. This queen is still not even close here. So this king looks really safe, in my opinion. So I don't know. Guys, what would you prefer? Would you prefer here to play with white or with black? I think I would prefer white. Let's see what else. Hello, I'm new to chess. New to chess. Okay. Always look forward when new people come to the channel. I'm really glad you decided to try and learn the chess game. It's a really amazing game, full of infinite options, really interesting. Each position is a new world. It is always so interesting, always so fun. Today is first day when I will be playing chess. Oh, okay, Cricketo. Then this commentary might be a bit boring to you. I'm talking to the people who know some things about chess. I mean, I'm not a grandmaster myself, but the things I'm mentioning is just a bit more advanced than just new beginners just playing game. Continue practicing, practice tactics, practice new motifs of the game each day and you will be fine. So not only openings but tactics, but endgame things, how the pieces work, how pieces are worth, you know, each piece has its own worth, how they are worth, and you can check that. This is important for beginners. But this stream actually is a bit for more advanced people. I don't know if you will see it as fun, so but I will try to make it as enjoyable as I can. Okay, so we are watching the game between Firuzi and Caruana. Caruana is still thinking. Caruana had some problems with Caruana had some real big trouble with time control, I think, in the candidates tournament, as I recall. It was a bit sorry about that, guys. We have to We are back. Political marketing here in Serbia because of the elections. Yeah, Fabiano now thinking. I thought he would be confident with this line, but for some reason he's still thinking. I don't know why.
Fabiano Caruana went down to Hikaru Nakamura yesterday, but maybe he just came even more ready to fight today. And on that note, let's see what Fabi was feeling right before the game started. Jovanka Huska caught up with him just moments before the first move.
We will see. By the way, they have, as I mentioned, these confessional booths. Let's see. Let's hear Caruana.
Caruana just about to play his game. Fabi, do you have any opening surprises planned?
Well, we'll find out soon. But maybe Alireza also has an opening surprise plan. So it's yeah. With Alireza, we have usually such tough fights, sharp fights that you never know what to expect. So we'll see.
Looking forward to it, and good luck in your game. Thank you.
Nothing too much mentioned here by Fabiano. Of course, he won't be saying that. Today there was a chess tournament let's see what Cricketo says. Today there was a chess tournament in my school and everybody was talking about it. It is believed in school that chess players are more intelligent. That's why I'm trying. Ah, okay, I see, I see. I don't know about that one, but many people who don't play chess actually think about chess players as like these geniuses. But Hikaru even mentioned that he doesn't believe this is the case. So, but people who are not familiar with the chess game actually think about other people who play chess that they are like some kind of masterminds, some Einsteins and stuff like that. But we're just like regular people, so nothing so special about us. But to people who don't know about chess and who don't understand it, it sounds like people who play chess are like these geniuses with high IQ and everything else. So yeah, that's a good way to impress someone. Definitely, Hikaru also mentions this, that you should definitely mention to play chess. For example, if you are applying for your job or something like this, definitely mention playing chess. Because many people who don't have any clue about chess will think that you are a hidden genius, you have some crazy mind patterns and stuff like that. This is a good way to impress people. Definitely a good choice. Okay, so we're looking at Magnus and Hikaru. So we have a queen trade on the board.
Well, it's the end game that Danny predicted earlier. It could happen another line that we were mentioning, but overall,
Danny mentions that that this would happen. So Magnus taking the queen with his knight. Hikaru will pick probably d takes on c6. This bishop.
Over the last couple of years, and how nowadays his style is a lot closer.
Then I searched on YouTube live chess stream and I found you. Wow, that's insane, bro. Wow. So just because of that you found me. That's crazy. That's amazing story, to be honest. If someone told me, I wouldn't believe it, basically. But yeah, that's impressive, my friend. I'm glad you found me. I'm glad you found me, and hopefully you will enjoy. This is a bit advanced, as I mentioned. This is not a beginner thing. So we are watching the games. This is usually for people who know a bit about chess and they understand and they know what to, look in a position. Of course, we are not grandmasters here, at least as far as I know, but we know a bit more about chess than just your everyday player. So, yeah.
Black does not have the bishop pair, which is often the compensation you get. Now, black's position is very comfortable otherwise, and there's a reason.
The computer gives this position a complete draw for now. Obviously, computer knows how is this played. Or black is a bit better, but this is only by computer evaluation. Hikaru is playing this like very confidently. Hikaru is wow. Hikaru, look at this, he only expanded 6 minutes here, so he's really deep in his preparation. Hikaru is amazing.
Does have a clear path into a beautiful outpost on d3. It will become a octo knight or a beast, whatever you want to call it, if it ever lands on that square. Ultimately as well.
So the plan for black is to put his knight on e5 and then go on d3, as David Howell mentioned. So f4 is one of the ways to go for white. And c5 is the way to go for black here, pushing away this knight and how to continue. David Howell mentions that he would be afraid here if he was Hikaru. Why would he be? I mean, this is a fine position, completely fine. This is completely solid. I don't see a way that you can outplay this that much. I mean, we will see, of course. When you are facing Magnus Carlsen, he's a genius himself, but Hikaru has a lot of time on his clock. He really played well.
You go for it and you need to be really sure. Now he pushed c3 in the opening, which is part of that very main line. So we can't blame him for placing the pawn there. But as you mentioned, maybe the trades he went for, it's not really favoring this pawn setup, and he might be paying a little bit of a price for it. He's not in trouble, but it's also not much that he can get.
Yeah. Well, agreed. And we're obviously squeezing water out of a stone a little bit in terms of finding things to talk about the position. Certainly, we're already in an endgames, and 2 minor pieces have been traded along with the queens. But I think we've set the tone.
Cricketo asks, can you give me some advice about how to play and where to play, and after how much time I will be able to participate it in school tournament? Some advice on how to play. You should definitely, since you are a complete beginner, you have to know the rules of chess. I don't know if you know the rules of chess. So you have to understand basic rules, how the pieces move, how the pieces are valued, so which piece is more valued, and this is the number one thing, so you have to know about that. After that, you learn the basics of the chess. You have to learn about the basics of where to put pieces. So first, some basic things about the openings. So where should you put your pieces, how to develop, stuff like that. You basically have to know development of the pieces is important, putting your king to safeties, like basic principles of chess. I would recommend buying some complete beginner course regarding chess opening principles, so you can simply understand where to go with pieces, what to do, what opening to play. And of course you need to play a lot chess games, so you have to play games and get better at games, and this is the way to learn. So you learn something, then you put it to practice. If you learn some openings, some new lines, you put it to practice, so you play it. You cannot only learn and not play, so you have to spend, like, let's say, like 30% learning, 30% or 50% playing, and 20% analyzing your games. Another important thing after you go into chess is to analyze your games, see where you made mistakes, if you made some blunders, how to get fixed on that. Of course, you will learn about basics of chess, also the questions about where to put your pieces. Is your opponent threatening anything? Where are your weaknesses? You will be learning more about chess in the way of how to think about your position, different kind of topics and themes that can arise on the board. But for now, this is a bit too much. Maybe after how much time I will be able to participate in school tournament, that depends on your effort. So that depends on your effort, exactly. You just need to go and play and play and play, try and learn a bit, and then play and play and play. So keep it interesting, keep learning new things, watch a few games, see how they play, maybe you can copy them, stuff like that. And but first you need to know basics about the games. I would say in around a year, if you are dedicated to chess, if you play it every day, you can definitely participate in school tournament and you can be really a solid player. Only in a year, I guarantee you. I saw one chess player that was, by the way, he is not chess player, you probably heard about him, his name is Tyler One, and he played, he was actually a really good League of Legends player, then he decided to play chess, and now he's playing really good chess, he plays it every day, and from what I saw, he's not actually doing that much openings, he's managing his progress on his own, so he's really amazing. And if he can do it, you can do it as well. But you have to put time and effort. So that's the thing. Every day you need to play chess. Every day you need to learn something new, and every day you need to play some chess. I don't know how old are you. How many do you have some time? How many time you can? How many time you can spend on chess and dedicate to chess each week and each day will basically decide and will be the deciding factor of how fast you will improve. You, Venjun, and Anna Muzichuk playing the game. For now, really solid position for black. I wasn't paying attention. This wasn't a Scandinavian. This was some looking like a London system, but now G6 move. Looks like f5 is on the board, so black wants to create a space on the board. Anna Muzichuk playing really well. Yeah. Yes. Danny Rench mentioned that, as you heard, that Anna Muzichuk gained the advantage in the opening. Really nice position. Definitely, I hear, if I can decide, I would definitely here play as black just because this is a complete solid position for black. Black has enough space. Now Anna Rudolph showing that maybe this knight can jump here and maybe knight can target this square on f6, maybe bishop e7 here mentioned, then f5, and a long castle here for black, pressuring against the king side. But Yu Wenjun still thinking about her next move.
Again, Ju Jun is thinking in this position probably for a reason, everybody, because she knows that the position has gone well for Anna Muzichuk, and she wants to right the ship before the middle game gets too far away. And,
yeah, so Yu Wenjun now has to make some sort of good reply in order to get this in order to create a way to counter this advantage of black in the opening, because she's thinking very well, so things can go south if you are careless, and you definitely don't want to allow that in a big tournament like this. So she's thinking of her next move. Interesting variation, and interesting. I don't know. I don't see computer suggestions here in this position. Oh, so we have f4 on the board.
There we go, just at the right moment. Yeah, I guess just because white's slightly ahead in development, the black king uncastled, it makes sense to try and open things up. E takes f4.
f4, as David Howell mentioned, whenever you see king in the center, you have to try and open up the position. That's your thing here as white. I don't have a chessboard, I need to play online. Where I can play any website or app, where can I start? Cricketo asks. You have two websites, lichess.org, so lichess.org is a free website. It's an amazing website. You have a lot of theory. Actually, you will explore a site and it's completely free. Another platform you can play on is chess.com. They have different type of memberships. You don't need to be a premium membership. You have a lot of things you can learn from, for example, like opening theory, how to play certain openings. So definitely a place to start if you wish to improve and if you wish to play. So go on chess.com or lichess.org, create an account on both sides. I would recommend, and you can decide and play on your own which will you prefer better. If you wish to improve and learn in chess, I would definitely recommend playing the game on at least 10 minutes. 10 minutes for you and 10 minutes for your opponent, because you will have enough time to think about the position, to make your moves, everything faster than that, and it's not that good, simply because in order to improve in chess you have to use your mind, and that's the way to go. You have to use your mind, so don't play fast games on 1 minute or 3 minutes. This is just for your level not necessary, and it's not working in your favor. So decide to play games on 10 minutes. So we will now go back in the game. So f4 is played by Yu Wenjun.
So it makes me wonder if we're not giving Ju Wenjun enough credit for this move f4, because it's actually really interesting. She plays f4, which threatens f5, stopping all of black's majority. And if we can analyze that real quick, just to show how great that would be, if you land that white pawn on f5, I think that this position, okay, it's still equal, but this feels very good. Exactly, you're highlighting the e4 square, you completely stop black's pawn structure from advancing. So if you back up and you're like, all right, well then if I'm going to stop f5, am I going to play f5 before castling?
Cricketo, we can. I will not be playing chess today with my viewers because now I am streaming, and you can just play yourself. You can just create an account and you will play with the people who are your own strength. I am not doing private chess lessons, just so you know. I'm not doing private chess lessons, but if you like, you can check my videos, my long form videos. I have a lot of different ways you can play chess. You can decide some. I have lessons in Scandinavian defense, in other chess openings, so you can decide. I have a lot of material, and you can start from there. It's important not to wait. Other people just Google on YouTube how to start chess, complete beginner tutorial in chess, and start from there. Type in beginner to complete beginner tutorial in chess, how to start with chess, and start learning chess. Start learning chess.
There's so many pins. Can you draw a few arrows Hikaru style, please, David, to show what is going on?
There's a pin along the diagonal towards the white king, there's a pin towards the white queen. The bishop is hanging on c5, the queen is hanging on e5. I mean, I don't know why black's okay here. It just feels like you might even have to sacrifice a piece.
So now they are exploring some lines here. David Howell and Anna Rudolph. When will you play with your viewers? I will play tomorrow. I will play tomorrow around the same time. I believe I will be starting around 5 or 6 in the afternoon. I don't know where you're from. By the way, here it's 10 minutes before 6 in the afternoon. So I will be playing around that time, maybe a bit later. So feel free to subscribe, and you know where to find me. So I usually stream every day. I stream with people, but I play with my viewers who know chess. I don't know if this would be too much interesting with you. Of course, I will not be giving any lessons. This will be only a playing game. So if you wish to play with me, you can play. And as for beginner chess, you shouldn't wait to play with me. You can definitely do that, and we will play tomorrow if you decide to join. It will be an unranked tournament, but I'm from India, and from where are you? I am from Serbia in Europe, so we have a different time zones. By the way, India has a lot of good chess players. I don't know if you heard about that, but India has amazing chess players. You had an amazing Vishy Anand, world chess champion, so India has a good history of chess players. As you can see, you have Indian players Vaishali Koneru and Ramush Babu Pragnananda, an amazing chess player. By the way, I have Ramush Babu Pragnananda's chess game on my channel. You can check it out. I analyzed Pragnananda's amazing game. He had an amazing victory, so you can check it out. But if the chess really is your interest, you should do it on your own. You should start right now, immediately Googling after you watch the stream, or if you want to watch the stream even more, definitely try Googling beginner chess, complete beginners, how to start with chess and stuff like that, complete beginner tutorials, and do that. And because it won't be a fun playing with people who know chess. You will just keep losing the games. You have to play with people on your level, and just because of that, I'm advising you to create an account on these chess websites. My rapid rating is around 1,800. 1,800 in rapid. I'm not a FIDE player, by the way. I'm thinking about starting playing over the board tournaments and again getting back to the chess, but for now I don't have the time, but definitely a thing to consider right now. I'm really thinking about joining FIDE again.
Or even to prepare for this plan. The knight on a3, for instance, is not going to be a very helpful defender for the king on the other side of the board.
I love what's going to happen in this game. I'm with you. And I know we got so excited we borderline jinxed Pia Cromling in the last game. And then her advantage at one point was much bigger than what we might.
I don't have a FIDE rating. I am not a FIDE player.
I feel like this is right up her alley, too. This is a position where she is going to...
Not participating in FIDE tournaments.
And all the cars, all the things at home are coming to the king's side here. And you already showed how, right? Rook slides over, knight moves out of the way, pawns are pushing. It's a king.
On the website is 1,850 in Lichess and 1,800 ish around that rating on chess.com platform.
Like David said, it's hard to see a piece
Rapid rating.
A peaceful
result.
No, not again.
I feel like I need to put you back in a box. Like Danya.
My Lichess rating is 1,830 or 50, something like this.
Interview we had earlier. Shout out
But it is Blitz rating, I believe, yeah. And this is Rapid.
Since the early 80s, I think that's when
Rapid is like 10 minutes games.
But yeah, go ahead.
Promised myself, Danny, before the show that I wouldn't make any puns, and then you started, and now all I can think is about how White might lay down and struggle to defend this position. Yeah, but Pia. Okay, I'll stop now. Rook f6. I think Black is just in charge. Simple as that. In practical terms.
Pia crumbling, gaining advantage on the king side.
One of the interesting things about this structure, David, is that if you could just grab that knight and just drag it over to e4 for me and just hold it there. No, sorry, no, the white knight.
Yep.
That's the point, right? So put that knight on e4, where it's not only brilliantly centralized, hitting d6, but also helps the support of what we talked about with the c pawn pushing and the b pawn. If White had that knight on that square.
Do you know Gotham Chess? Yes. I heard about Gotham Chess. He's one of the greatest YouTubers and great chess players. He's actually. He's very oftenly he's one of the workers. I don't know if he's one of the associates. I'm sure he is of chess.com. So yeah, of course I know him. He's an amazing guy, amazing chess player and great teacher and entertainer. You should check him out as well. He has really instructive videos, but his videos, I don't know if he has definitely a complete beginner-friendly videos. So he has beginner-friendly videos, but at least you have to know something about the game before watching his videos. I think so, at least.
Improve her pieces. She's got such good feel. I wouldn't actually be surprised if Black were to at some point sacrifice a pawn just to block that square that you mentioned, Danny. Just a move like pawn to e4. Firstly, to block that square, but also to create a beautiful outpost for the Black Knight.
I don't know who that is. Maybe Raina is rings a bell, but I don't know who that is. Can you remind me, please? I don't know who that is.
Slow in the classical portion. She'll admit that herself. Today, great in terms of 50 moves played, half an hour spent. That's bang on the target, I think, in terms of time usage. So yeah, next move automatic as well. Leighton J, work cut out to defend.
Yeah, this is looking very promising for Pia Kremling. I agree with everything both of you said about how it's so much easier to play this from Black's perspective. The plan is very obvious, and you know where you want your pieces. While for White, Leighton J will need to defend here very precisely to not get much worse out of this middle game position. I wonder if she's partially regretting how the opening went and where she would have changed it.
What do you mean by rings a bell? It rings a bell. It means by it's a phrase. It rings a bell. It is familiar. This signer name. It's like in my mind somewhere. I heard it before. I don't know what it is, but it's like a familiar in my mind. He's a chess streamer. Okay, then I don't know him. Saina. I haven't heard about him. No. So here is Magnus Carlsen, world chess champion and one of the greatest chess players of all time, and if not the greatest, by the way, cricket. This is one of the greatest chess players to the left, as you saw him. He's a Norwegian guy. Here he is. Let's hear him.
Well, I would say that what's happened in the last few moves is more than a little embarrassing. I was sort of caught out a little bit by his move Queen f6. Maybe I shouldn't have been. Maybe I played the wrong move order in the opening. I don't know. But then after thinking for a bit, I thought I should be practical, exchange in c6, and after he takes back, I trade an e5, he takes an e3, and so on, and we have this position that is quite equal, but I thought with the king side majority, White has a little more potential. And then before he took on d4, that move hadn't even occurred to me. And I immediately realized that I'm not even close to being better. Actually, I think Black is probably closer to being better in this endgame. But I mean, I guess I'll just try to survive for now. Maybe long term I can get some chances, but I'm not too optimistic.
So as you heard, Magnus was surprised by Queen f6 move of Hikaru. That's amazing.
Love the confessional move. Love the honest takes of what's going on in the players.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a game changer here in terms of giving us ammo to talk about and just.
Sorry, cricket though, not right now. I enjoy watching this tournament, so not right now.
Admitting, David, just kind of an outright blunder, missing e takes d4.
Yeah, it's rare and refreshing to see such honesty from these top players. I don't think I've ever heard a world-class grandmaster say they were embarrassed. They'd rather just say they kind of they missed something, or they've still got control. But Magnus admitting that he's pretty much fighting for a draw, and we see the
Magnus admitted that he fights for a draw. That's crazy. And by the way, I cannot say how much I like this confessional booth. It gives you the real feel of the game. It gives you the ways of what happens in chess players' mind. How do they think? Are they scared? Did they make some mistakes and stuff like that? It's amazing. I'm just really impressed by the confession booth feature. So have to go a bit back. No, when the tournament ends, I have to go. I have a work. I work night shifts, and
I do think that yes, Hikaru's position is more comfortable, but it's only slightly better.
yeah, Hikaru is not winning. Hikaru is not winning here. Cricket, just start playing. Just start what I've mentioned before, bro. You have to know the basics of chess. You cannot just come and play with the people who know better chess than you, because it will be boring to you. You have to start learning about chess, so you have to do the work. No one can do it for you. I can tell you some things, but it's not like you will play better if I give you these tips and you will immediately play better. You have to play chess. You have to play a lot of chess, and you have to play chess with the people of your own rating, so of your own strength. Playing with the people who are much better than you will not do you any good. It will not be interesting to you. You will simply lose many games, and maybe it will be even counterproductive. You will be maybe mad because you are losing all the games. So play with the people of your own rating, learn about chess. You have to put the time to learn about chess. That's the thing. You cannot just come to the stream of some other people and just, watch it for 1 hour and then you will be a grandmaster. So it doesn't work that way. It really takes time. But if you like chess, and from what you said, I think you like it, you have to dedicate it time. You have to just play. It's you can do it today, so don't wait for anyone else. Create an account and just play. That's it. As you can see, there is even chess.com. As you can see here, chess.com is the website. You see it here under the format. Go on that website, create an account, and start playing. Mention that you are a beginner, and he will pair you up with beginners. Learn about chess every day, and that's the advice I can give you. If you wish to play with us, you can do that, but I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna be interesting to you. If you are a complete beginner and you just basically just open the chess, new to chess world, it will not be a fun to you. But you can play tomorrow. You can join us if you wish.
It really does, because those pawns will forever be targets. Pawns are the only pieces that can't go back in chess, right? We've tried. That would be a bug. You can't do it. And
Disakcija. Dobro gauda, kilogram 999,99. Dobro suncokreta.
as healthy, or I guess you would say as aggressive as White's 4-on-3, already has things to target, right? If you play B3, there's A5 and A4, right? To pry open the A5.
So Hikaru is slightly better here.
Relationship on the A2 square, right? And that works. And there's all kinds of problems here for Magnus to figure out. So evaluation close to equal. Someone like Magnus Carlsen, comfortable playing positions like this. But yeah, advantage Hikaru right now. Advantage in prep. And can we give another shout out to Hikaru in terms of the fact that he keeps guessing openings well.
Yeah.
Like he's been doing this for a while, and he did it so well yesterday against Fabiano, not just in the classical game, but then in the Armageddon, knew exactly which opening to choose, right? He made fun of it as being a garbage weapon, and I think sometimes Hikaru says things like that in the post interviews, but it's not that garbage, and it was perfect for the moment. And whatever happened in their prep here, whether it's
So
hangover that is helping Hikaru,
Hikaru is now going to play his move. We'll see what Hikaru will play.
because I can't remember the last time I guess Vinit Gujarati was a bad opening in the candidates, but overall Hikaru is guessing openings better than his opponents on a consistent basis right now.
Yeah, Vidit twice in the candidates.
That's true. Okay, Vidit, that was a really interesting thing for Hikaru to lose both those games to Vidit. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, shout out to Chris Littlejohn, that really special relationship where they're just able to kind of pinpoint
People cheering for Hikaru. I'm cheering for Hikaru as well. He's just underdog in this tournament, so I always cheer for underdog. That's my personal thing.
Just full credit to Hikaru. We see him stream 6-8 hour sessions every single day. But where does he find the time to study these openings? It's incredible.
Well, full credit to Hikaru. Guess what he just did? Right after Magnus,
Confessional?
he entered the confessional
Please.
booth. So I wanted to hear what Hikaru thought about the position, whether Hikaru even comments about the fact that Magnus went to it. So let's dive in and see what our journalist on site, who's also playing a chess game, Hikaru Nakamura, has for us about this round.
Let's hear Hikaru.
Well, good day, everybody. We're back once again. Today's round 2 of Norway chess. Since nobody else seems to really be using the confessional, at least so far, I figure I might as well do it, because honestly, this is basically like an extension of streaming, except that when I talk to you guys, the fans, I can't actually see what you're writing. So, like, if there were a monitor here that would, like, show the chat and some, you know, like, John Quinn 7789 were asking, you know, what do you think about today's games, it would really essentially be the same thing as streaming. So it's kind of just an extension, except, of course, I look a little bit like a lunatic, because here it's like, there's a classic streamer meme, which is, who's he talking to when you're just talking? That's kind of what probably it seems like to some people. But anyway, all right. So jokes aside, the games so far, of course, what I have is pretty normal. This is what I had against Jan Nepomniachtchi. Maybe I should butcher his name in honor of Ferrugi and say like Jan Neposhi or something weird. But anyway, I played Nepo in the candidates, and we had this position. So thus far, pretty happy. Obviously, I played this before. I've reviewed the line many times during the candidates. So I feel pretty good. We'll see. I mean, I generally portend that Magnus comes up with some great idea and surprise me. The game could trend in his direction. If he doesn't have some original idea, I think there's a good chance that I'll equalize and shouldn't be in too much trouble. But we'll have to wait and see, because it's still pretty early in the game. But Magnus also doing one of the things he's done over the years against me, which is when he gets surprised by something, he goes into a very deep think pretty early. Luckily for me, today at least he's thinking at the board instead of just like thinking while he eats a pizza in the back room. But pretty happy so far. So that's my game. Okay, obviously Alirez's game against Fabiano. It's a London system.
Hello Adam, welcome. I will reply. Just give me a second listening to Hikaru. Welcome. Welcome, my friend. How are you?
He had black against Gukesh. I got the order wrong, I think. Although I think he might have played a London system. Or no, he was white against Gukesh, not London system. So he's playing a London system again. Nothing too surprising there. I mean, I suspect he's better prepared than Fabiano, though. And the other game is Prague versus Ding. Ding, of course, playing in English. He played something similar to this, I think, against Nepo in the first round of the 2022 candidates. This whole C4, G3 stuff. So that's very, very early. Have to wait and see what happens in that game. In the women's games, let me try this.
Hikaru is such a legend. He's so casual. He's so cool.
Very topical from the
It feels like he's on the stream right now. He's such an amazing guy. Alagu Narayanan K, welcome and thank you for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you.
Blizzard Bowl games that I played online, so it's kind of funny seeing that. Also, vaguely along the lines of what I played against Ariane Tari here last year in Norway chess. And there's one other game, which is the symmetrical Italian in the women's section with knight c3, knight f3, and this h3, h6. Vaguely reminds me of one of the earliest chess books I ever read, which I think was Josh Waits can teach us chess.
Hikaru feels like he's on his own stream. He's so casual, so enjoying himself. That's amazing.
Before knight d5, knight d4, and white wins at the end, but also kind of reminds me back when I was a young kid playing chess. So I mean, some interesting games thus far, and we'll just have to wait and see how they continue. So that'll be it for now, and I'm sure I'll be back later.
Such a cool guy, Hikaru. Adam, hello again, my friend. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate you seeing you again. We are watching round 2 of the Norway chess tournament, one of the top chess tournaments of the year, and we are watching the top match between Magnus and Hikaru. Hikaru confused Magnus, as he mentioned in the confessional booth, with Queen f6 move, and Magnus was really stunned in the opening. That's why he spent a lot of time thinking how to reply, and Hikaru is still doing a bit better, so Hikaru out-prepped Magnus Carlsen in this opening. So really interesting and exciting game on our hands. And one thing about this tournament is that players have confessional booths, which means basically like a live stream. After they play a couple of moves or whenever they want, they can go into confessional booth and they can talk about their position, what do they think about, what is their plans, and basically you have a reality feel like this is on live stream. How do they think, what they think about position, and me personally I think that's amazing because you don't see that every day. So in most chess tournaments in the world and through history, you didn't have this kind of technology where you can just ask players and talk about, and they can just talk about their position. They can just inform you how they are feeling. Are they worried? Are they scared? How they are satisfied with the opening? But this chess format is amazing. I think every tournament, at least big tournament, should be played this way. Maybe it's a bit annoyance for players, but for fans watching this, it's so amazing, and we are loving it.
Even if he can't actually see chat, which is what he said he missed, is actually a thing. I think Hikaru enjoys doing the confessional booth because of...
Hikaru really enjoys it. Yeah, it is seen here. Hikaru is such a professional. He's completely adopted this role of YouTube streamer, and he's amazing. An amazing chess player, obviously, that's obvious. So Hikaru still thinking about the way he should continue this game. The last move was knight f3 by Magnus Carlsen, and so many options, as Shaquille O'Neal would say, in Shacking a Fool. So many options here for black, how to go. If I was black, I would play rook a to d8. In my opinion, black is not threatening anything. Maybe this knight can go somewhere, or actually maybe knight g5 is a threat, as now David Howells mentions it. So I see developing of my rooks, one way to go, simply not complicate it too much if I don't have any tactics immediately, and let's see from there how to continue the game. Maybe other rook as well, as David Howell mentions it. Oh, so maybe a5 and then rook a6 and then attack b6. Interesting ideas. Interesting ideas, and you are blocking this b4 move here. Very, very interesting. Okay, that's nice ideas showing up on the board.
But it's a good problem to have, right? We talked about Fabiano's problems. They were solved by making more problems, right?
Hikaru is amazing in his preparation.
In this case,
stunned Magnus Carlsen, world chess champion, in the opening. So really amazing work by Hikaru there.
That's called time management, right? You use what you've earned on the clock. You use the clock as a weapon and leverage those seconds when they matter. This is a big moment, right?
How are you, Adam, by the way? Everything well?
Idea, David, right? I mean, this is a really direct way for black to flex on the queen side. And I guess I almost wanted to respond to it with what stops it, because what's the threat for white? Like, the pawn on c5 is perfect.
I don't see any threats for white here. Maybe only knight to g5, maybe to take away this bishop if white wants to do that. That's the only threat I see. I don't see anything else here that is anything worse than that. So maybe knight g5 as the main threat. Let's see. Okay, so Hikaru playing my move, so I'm a grandmaster. I'm a grandmaster, obviously. Rook a to d8. An obvious move. You just take the open line, open file, and that's just the way to go. Simply when there is not much to think. I mean, they are of course grandmasters, and this is a classical game, and you have to think about all the options. But this is one of the standard moves.
Maybe off to the confessional again.
Maybe, hopefully.
Let's see what Hikaru will do. Maybe he will go to confessional booth they mentioned. Maybe he will not. Hikaru will use this time to gain more followers. He's amazing. That's the amazing thing about him. I hope he will continue playing the tournaments. He mentions that sometimes he will stop. He will not be playing tournaments when he's 40, but I think he should. He should, at least these events. I mean, he's such a nice guy and such a great entertainer, in my opinion. And he should continue. He should continue doing what he is doing. He's amazing.
Hey, it's your world. We're living in it. Let's do it. Vaishali versus Canero. It's the All India battle, and take it away.
Vaishali is the sister of Ramush Babu Pragnananda, playing against another strong Indian grandmaster, Hampi Koneru. The position is slightly better here for black. Brother and sister Pragnananda playing games, but I would like to see what is happening in the game between Firuzia and Caruana. This game was promising crazy exchanges. King was unsaved for Alireza Firuzia, and
White has the bishop pair. Slightly better pawn structure. Black has double B pawns, but other than that, it looks like a very healthy position for.
we'll see.
Anna, first thoughts. You wanted to take us here. Who would you prefer to be right now?
I wanted to come here so that we can take a look at all the games, but I thought that this is one of the most balanced positions.
It is very
So
balanced.
I don't have too much more to add to that, David. I think it's 3 possible results. Danny?
Yeah, totally. I mean, this was this the one that was the bishop's opening or the Italian?
This was the Italian.
Okay, it's funny because I'm looking at the bishop on c4 without the knight on c3 and was wondering if there was a weird move order, but yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting to see that a lot of options ahead. The reason players like the Italian structure is because of its flexibility and options, and whether black is going to try to relocate the king side and go for an f5 and with knight f4 and all the things, or you go for d5, right? Whether white's going to castle short and try to do something with f4, or you try to remaneuver the bishop on c4. Sometimes you try to change the structure there on the
What to do here as white?
on advancing to c3 or d4. So
Should you castle? Is it safe to castle? I think it is.
And interesting that okay, both players just dialed in right now. Dialed in by Shali on the clock.
Yeah, it feels like because maybe the kind of Indian derby pride on the line, it feels like it's slowed down the players somewhat. Only 11 moves and not that much has happened. So time scramble imminent at some point. Definitely want to check back in on.
Do you prefer to play chess over the board online? Well, having in mind that I just play chess in the last years online, I believe it's online. But I am actually looking forward to start playing the over-the-board tournaments again. Because back in the day when I was kid, when I was playing tournaments, it was only over the board. We didn't have this kind of programs. We have one program that was called, I believe, Chess Master or something like this. I forgot about the name of this program, and this is where you could play against a computer. Basically, my grandpa was playing against that, but we didn't have online games, you didn't have internet and stuff like that, so it was a bit more complicated. Today you have access to technology. So to answer your question, so for now online, but I'm really looking forward playing some online over-the-board tournament. Definitely looking forward to becoming again the FIDE member. Definitely looking forward to becoming again a FIDE member and start participating in some tournaments in Serbia. Gain some rating and stuff like that. Looking forward to that. So Carlsen, okay, so we have another move. So Carlsen played rook f2, d1. We have rook f to d8, and Nakamura has advantage here. And now we have some commercial break. We will of course be back after this commercial break. I cannot pass this.
Realmente las trampas es un tema súper complicado, ¿no? Para la gente pues que sabe muy bien cómo leer entre líneas, yo creo que ellos sí lo piensan de verdad. Se dieron las cosas y gané 2 veces el title Tuesday.
Interesting about now mentioning Vladimir Kramnik and his complaints about cheating in the online world. Vladimir Kramnik is one of the people who initiated talk about cheating in the online chess and in chess in general. So there is a lot of cheating in chess. This was confirmed, especially in online chess when there is big rewards happening, when there is money involved, and especially for people who are not that famous. So if it goes, basically they count on it that if you manage to cheat and win, you will win a lot of money, and that's good for you. If they caught you, they caught you. At least you basically you tried it. So no foul, no harm. But for people who are actually thinking about having chess as their careers, if they caught you cheating, if they caught Magnus Carlsen cheating, if they caught you cheating, you're done. I mean, your reputation is simply done. If you are caught cheating, no one will ever allow you to go participate in any tournaments. You can only try and participate like with a hidden account, but playing regular tournaments, not a chance. Not a chance. Code Herb asks, on the board chess is better than online. On the board chess has a much advantages simply because this tournament feel is a completely different one. You know, you hear the boards clapping, you hear the pieces, you know, going around, you have clocks ticking and people hitting on clocks. It's an amazing feel. Truly an adrenaline rush when I remember playing. It's amazing. Some people prefer it, some people don't, but it's definitely more comfortable to play from home. But chess over the board has its great values and has its positives, of course. You cannot compare the feeling, obviously, when you are playing a tournament and you are playing some random chess. When you are playing some random chess with a random player online, it's definitely a different feel. I agree to that. What I want to look right now and see where is the board between Caruana and Firuzia. Firuzia now actually gains the advantage. As you can see, Firuzia's king is on G2. He moved his rook on G1. And from computer evaluation, he has the advantage. Caruana entered in some crazy line. He didn't push for E5 here, and this is how this game right now unfolds. We have Ding Liren and Pragnananda, a pretty equal game. Ding Liren, by the way, is the world chess champion. If you don't know, currently he's a world chess champion, and he will be facing Gukesh Domaraju, who was a winner of candidates tournament this year. It was an amazing tournament. If you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend. It was a crazy and exciting finish until the very end, the very last round. It was such an amazing tournament. Unfortunately, both Caruana, Jan Nepomniachtchi and Hikaru Nakamura lost. Gukesh won the tournament with 8.5 points. The last round he was playing against Hikaru Nakamura. They drawn, and the rest of the players also drawn. So if there was a victory between the Jan Nepomniachtchi and Fabiano Caruana, they would be facing Gukesh in Armageddon round. But because draws happened, unfortunately, this wasn't a possibility, and they lost. Okay, so I didn't know about this. Stavanger was Magnus Carlsen's birthplace, so that's amazing. Wow, I didn't know this. That's a great way to honor the world chess champion Magnus Carlsen and his home city. That's amazing. I like it.
He had to watch as Hikaru Nakamura defeated Fabiano Caruana in an epic battle on the last day to take the title. Both Hikaru and Fabi return this year to take on Magnus and the rest of this elite field. Joining them will be the reigning world champion Ding Liren and young phenoms Alireza Firouzja and Pragnananda Ramesh Babu, who will look to continue the form that led to their
Alireza has an amazing score against Magnus. At least online tournaments, he's amazing against Magnus.
The open and women's sections. The two tournaments will play out side by side, and Norway chess women looks to be just as intriguing as the open section. Current women's world champion Zhu Wenjun will face off against the formidable field of Koneru Humpy, Lei Ting-jae, Anna Muzichuk, Vaishali Ramesh Babu, and the legendary Pia Kramling. Who will emerge victorious in the land?
What do you think? Who will win this tournament? Well, it's too early to tell. Me personally, I am rooting for Hikaru Nakamura. I always root for underdogs. Obviously, Magnus Carlsen is the best player in the world. He's not world chess champion because he didn't compete. I root for him, but for now it's too early to tell. All of these are top players in the world, and all of them are really, really good. For now, 3 players are holding the first spot. It's Ramesh Babu Pragnananda, it's Fabiano, and it's it's Magnus and Hikaru are tied for the first place with 1.5. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, definitely.
It's gonna be an epic event where, as we've said many times, nobody leaves the building until we have a winner in their match. And
yeah, by the way, the format of this tournament is you cannot have a draw. You have to, if you draw, you have to play Armageddon games. So you always have to have a winner. So that's the reason why after round 1 you have points like 1.5 point. That's because you won one game in you drawn the game in classical, but you won a game in Armageddon, and that's why you have a half point up. It's an amazing format, really. You don't have that many differences in players ranking, so you only get half point if you win Armageddon, so you are close to your opponent because you drawn in the classical, of course, and it's really fun. Hopefully they will switch to Caruana and Firuzia game. I really look forward to that game and see the analysis of that game.
Moves in the Norway chess women's event right now. Looks like roughly balanced in most of those boards. I think the one game we haven't shown enough love is Dingleren against Pragnananda. So let's jump in there.
Dingleren with the white pieces again. He is repeating the color that he was playing with yesterday, but yesterday he didn't show much. As white against Magnus, he went for an opening draw, or opening repetition, early draw, and then lost in Armageddon. So for today, Danny, what do you think is his strategy going into this game? He's facing the youngest participant in the field, Pragnananda, and Dingleren needs to prove something. Needs to prove that he can.
So game between
having the white pieces twice in a row.
Dingleren and Ramesh Babu Pragnananda.
Also supposedly some
A really interesting game.
I think his strategy overall is to just focus on the strategy in front of him, right? He's had a tough time.
For now, it's looks like a complete draw here. Both players played really well. Looks like this is all theory, and both of them played it well, so they know their lines, they know what to expect, what to do in the opening, and
we were critical of what happened yesterday. He ultimately did lose in Armageddon. He gave zero effort with white against Magnus Carlsen. But I think right now his strategy is like literally what is the cliche? It's one game at a time. It's one move at a time, and I think he's just trying to focus on what's in front of him. Right now it's a very equal position.
Still a lot of time left here for the players. They will have enough time.
Means that even if white wins that pawn, like we're still very close to equal here in a lot of ways. So, I guess I'm dancing around your question a little bit. I think his strategy though really is just to like stay focused, stay in a good mindset, and I think that's all you can do. They say you have to stop the bleeding before you can move forward and make things better. That's usually what they say to the chess player.
Me personally, I had troubles with these kind of positions where everything is peaceful, and I would very oftenly lose the cool of the position, and that's the reason why you shouldn't lose your cool. That's what I'm learning right now, because when everything is peaceful and you just want to change something about the position, you just cannot stand the peacefulness, and you don't have exact plan what to go, and then you make some pawn push, you make some careless trade, and you go into a losing position, and that's something I've struggled. So you have middle games, and then from there you make a mistake and you lose. Especially in those kind of positions, what plans should you develop, what things you should go for, and stuff like that. Queen f6 played for Pragnananda, and let's see Pragnananda confessional boot.
Yeah, I'm here in the confession for the first time, and games are quite interesting so far. My game, I've just given up a pawn on d5, and I think I should get enough compensation after because of my pieces, and other games are also quite exciting. Fabi's game is very interesting with I'll take white there, but I think both were in preparation till some point, and so I should be fine in that case, but I'm not sure about last moves of queen d8, queen e7, rook d8. And Magnus game, I think it's around equal. I would have probably take black, and women games are also quite exciting. And there is the Sveshnikov with rook f6, rook h6 coming in, and I'm actually interested how this game will go. And my sister's game is also kind of normal, and a lot of exciting games. I'm hoping to see how it goes.
Okay, Pragnananda really short interview in confessional booth. Brother and sister Pragnananda and Vaishali, amazing players, both of them playing at the same event. That's an amazing thing, when you have your two family members, especially your brother and sister, to play on the same event. It's such an amazing thing. have your close family playing at the same tournament. They're really amazing. And Code Herb says, me too, I can't understand what to do in a good position. Exactly. Especially you have a balanced position, you have a normal position, everything is completely fine for both players, and then what to do, how to continue. Everything is fine, and then you make some crazy pawn push, you just lost your patience, or you make a dumb exchange, and then you just simply see that, no, I shouldn't allow that, now he has a better position, now I have weak squares, no, I shouldn't have allowed that, that's insane. But this is one of the mastery of the game, you know. This is something we have to work on and improve. Keeping your cool, not being impatient. So as you heard, Prague just sacrificed his pawn there. As you can see on d5, he's hanging for the compensation because he will be playing. He will be having a nice piece development and piece involvement after this piece is picked up. So let's see what Pragnanda has in mind when he says that. So obviously if you pick up with your queen and then bishop e6 is going, yeah, playing for activity, as David mentions, this is one of the ways to play the game as well. Newbie players and beginner players have trouble with that type of sacrifices. New players are really worried about the material, I don't want to give any pawn or stuff like that, and you actually should. Finding those ideas is what separates, you know, relatively new players from masters and stuff like that. So basically when you can see the activity, when you can see the way to continue the game, you should give up your pawn because you will have an amazing activity, and this activity will result in you returning the material and with a better position. So that's how they think. Us new players and average players are just worried about material, and we only sacrifice when we see that this will lead us to a checkmate, or when you see some tactic, but other than that we are scared of playing for initiative. We are scared of giving up our pawns because usually we cannot convert those kind of positions. That's our main one of our main worries in the chess game. Although other players are especially masters, they have this in their mind. They always go for that because they know how to convert a good piece activity and how to get into a win.
I think he is, and I think Ding is. It's hard when you're trying to shake off form and not play against the demons of your past, right? You don't want to compete against ghosts, so.
Sorry about that. I cannot skip that, guys, sorry. Couldn't skip that. Okay, we are back.
And you won an Armageddon battle yesterday as white, right? In a crazy flagging affair, where you beat Ali Reza Baruch on the clock. Although he was also in a great spot on the board. So I think Prague is ready for Armageddon. Should it get to that, knowing they had black here. So hard not to say anything more than at some point the Dingley Ren of old has to become the Dingley Ren of new and of now.
Many people were mentioning that Dingley Ren wasn't playing on his level, especially these last tournaments, candidates tournaments. No candidates. What was his last tournament he was playing in? Maybe it was Chess 960 tournament or something else, but he wasn't really impressing at all. I don't know if he took some pause from chess, for at least from playing chess, but he wasn't himself in those tournaments, at least judging by what other people mentioned, and that was really weird.
We've lined up with Unity. I think the boards in the middle have our attention the most, right? Crazy Sveshnikov that's turned into maybe a kingside attack coming for Pia Kremling. David, you get to choose. Just grab one, take it there, and
Pia Kremling creating an attack, and on the king side here against Lei Tingye and Ali Reza and Caruana. Finally, we're looking at these games. Ali Reza Firuzia is just amazing. Look at these stats. 20 years, rating 2,737. He's a beast. He's such a good player. what is going on in Magnus's and Hikaru's game. It was a Spanish game which Magnus opened. It was Archangelsk variation, and Hikaru out-prepped Magnus Carlsen. When you watch the stream, when you go back, you will see Magnus Carlsen mentioning in the confession booth that he was completely stunned with Queen F6 move, and he was just basically, and he continues to fight to survive in the game. Although it looks that from our perspective that the game is completely normal, material is balanced, the position itself it's working in Hikaru's favor. Hikaru out-prepped him and he's feeling really good. He mentions, Hikaru mentioned in the confessional booth that he will easily draw this game. He has no worries about that. He just needs to keep playing chess, and of course he will now play for a win since he out-prepped him in the opening. So Hikaru has the advantage from the opening. Now we are in the middle game, queens are off the board, and you can check on chess.com and see the game for yourself. Computer evaluation mentions it all, and they will hopefully soon be back on this kind of game, on Magnus and Hikaru's game. And yeah, that's basically how to sum it up in this game. And Fabiano and Firuzi, a really interesting game. Fabiano finds some novelty in this chess variation, chess opening. I forgot what it was, but it was this c4 move, and basically it allowed a quick trade on the h-file. White lost his knight, and also black lost his knight, but white now gained a pawn. That was the sacrifice of black for the initiative and for the weak white king. But as you can see from the game, this actually doesn't look that much scary. White king is safe, although it looked like he had double pawns. He's completely safe. Black simply doesn't have enough pieces, and hopefully Fabiano can try and create some sort of a counter-attack. Danny Ranch mentioning that king d7 and king c8 is one of the options Black could go into the game, and yeah, so one of the ways you can go about games. And but let's see, how can Black here create an attack? I'm not sure how this can be done. You cannot push for g5, I think, because White can take with en passant. I don't know what Fabiano has here in mind, but from computer evaluation, White is doing better. White has a pawn up, obviously. Black is a pawn down, although he sacrificed it in order to gain some initiative against weak white king, but it only looks that it's weak. It's not actually. And yeah, they will get back to Magnus and Hikaru's game. This is the main game, of course.
In his thoughts, and we'll check back with him later. The other game, Danny, you mentioned that we'll definitely need to revisit is the legendary Pia Crumling playing with the black pieces against Lei Tingxie. We really liked Pia's chances yesterday.
Fabiano again burning his clock. He had trouble with his clock. He had trouble with his clock in the candidates tournament, although he played it really well. Again, now he's wasting. I mean, he's not wasting. He's thinking, but he's kind of low on time. I want to see what is happening in Magnus and Hikaru's game, but for now, Pia Kramling. We're watching Pia Kramling and Lei Tingxie. Computer suggestion is knight to f6 for Pia Kramling. Oh, I see. So knight f6 is the only way to continue this game, to continue this advantage, which Pia Kramling now has. Pia Kramling, for those of you who do not know, is the mother of Anna Kramling, chess player and YouTube chess streamer as well. She's also a famous YouTuber. She's famous for her, what's the name, hip opening or cow opening. Yeah, cow opening is the name of this opening. Magnus mentioned that this is a dumb opening. If you watch this kind of interviews, Magnus mentioned that it's just simply dumb. I don't see the point of that opening, Magnus mentioned, but Anna Kramling for some reason likes playing it, so
enters into the game. There will be ideas, if white gets enough time to just hit this black rook, there might even be ideas to shift the king up one square, slide across.
So David mentioned some of the ideas that white could maybe use in this game. That's
Yeah, you simply need to be energetic.
So how does knight f6 prevent this plan then? So let's analyze this.
so knight f6. Okay, let's see if Pia Kramling plays this move. So how the white continues. Computer suggestion is bishop to e3. Rook h3.
Forward, always forward, and now the white king can defend its pawn, but knight
King g2, then knight to h5, then g3. Pawn is pressured.
It has other pieces now helping it to attack, and I mean bishop f2. There's already ideas like bishop h4 maybe.
Wow!
I'm gonna suggest just to try and
Beautiful.
Wow.
create a square. I don't really see the checkmate yet,
Just do it. Doesn't matter. Just do it.
it must be coming. It must be.
Queen f6 looks pretty dynamite. Just like passively thoughting, okay, yeah, computer likes it. Just go to
Queen
G6
f6 and queen g6 is the checkmate in this position.
Probably was unnecessary, so this looks good. What a crazy position. But again, when you're attacking a king and you have brought the house, as we said, and all the cars, kitchen sink, the whole thing, you can give up some material in some spots because you're getting checkmate at the end. So, and love this right there. That's a simple approach, a battery on the H file.
Still waiting for Pia Kramling's move. Pia is thinking. Pia has a slight advantage on the clock. Let's see if she can find this, if she will find this move, which will keep the advantage. Okay, so now it shows that you cannot play king g2 and offer a rook h1 trade because bishop h3 is a skewer and you will lose your rook. So yeah, trouble for Lei Tingjie. Anna now thinking what she could go for, what could be her plan in this opening. So in this position, pardon me.
It's funny. She's thinking right now, which again I think is good clock management when I see she has an edge, Anna. But I want to point out that one of the only things she maybe mishandled throughout that game was her clock against Humpy Canero yesterday. She ultimately got under time pressure. So sometimes you wonder when you see players, there's like a move, let's go, you want them. I mean, David often says long think, wrong think, right? So at some point you have to trust yourself. I just want to say that now. She's up on the clock, but I mean, you don't want to see it dwindle away too fast, right?
Yes, and knight f6 seems like a very natural move, and I'm pretty sure that that's the move she's considering. In fact, I find it hard to look for any other appealing.
Yeah, Anna Rudolph mentions it. It's really like a move that just anyone can find, in my opinion. It's not too difficult. It's just simply natural. You open your bishop diagonal and you put your knight on a perfect square.
Okay, but I don't think you need to panic too much.
Aha, but that is also okay. Yeah. What if this is played? What do you continue? So you just play rook b8?
White never really wants to eliminate this bishop because it only helps the queen.
Aha, I see. Okay. So this is not scary. You know, when you play chess, you are really scared about giving up your pieces, especially because of this white squared bishop can help you in the attack on the king side. You are scared about giving it up. Maybe Pia Kramling is thinking about that. Maybe she wants to prevent this kind of moves and she's scared of that.
It's an H file. Let's go get it. Knight takes a8 and queen h5.
This is winning.
Oh, this is winning for black as well. So you simply sacrifice your rook. You don't care if Lei Tingjie jumps. You just go queen to e8 and she takes your rook. You go queen to h5 and the game is over. And you cannot stop the checkmate. Wow. Too strong. Too strong.
Well, Pia's thinking. We've commented on the fact that it's 9 minutes on what feels to be a very straightforward idea. There you go, right? It would be checkmate, RIP to the white king if we get there. And all right, well.
Let's see what's happening in Magnus and Hikaru's game. Hopefully they will get back to it. Wow, look at this advantage by Hikaru. Hikaru has an amazing advantage. Look at this. That's incredible. Hikaru is amazing. Like Magnus mentioned, he must fight for the draw.
I think that Magnus is still well within holding territory here, but the edge is getting more comfortable for black.
Yeah, at least by computer evaluation.
Game and take a look at it in full view because the white pieces are just uncoordinated, David, right? The rooks are disconnected right now, but Hikaru now thinking it's been 8 minutes for him, almost 9, really trying to come up with the concrete approach. Your thoughts, David, on options available for black?
Yeah, I mean, Hikaru, he's gonna...
Oh!
I was gonna say retreat his knight to f8. Nope, he goes the other way.
Fancy!
Knight in the corner, that was not on my radar, I must admit.
But dude, what a move! I don't have the...
Let's see if Hikaru will go to confession booth again and see what's going on.
Because what a crazy idea to come to f7 and highlight those squares available. It's how often do you correctly bring your knight to h8, and it's an aggressive idea.
Wow, that is really clever. It's not just knight h8, he's actually trying to kick this white knight.
Okay, so g6 is another move here.
Lacking options and
0.7 advantage for Hikaru. Almost a pawn by computer evaluation at least.
Anna, you've got to go back in order to go forward.
Very true. Wise words by Grandmaster David Howell for chess and life advice. Hit him up on Twitter. I was going to say about X and Instagram. I think you're right. I think this is actually a crazy looking, brilliant move.
And by the way, people mentioned that finding these backward knight moves are the hardest moves in chess. And really, this happened to me in a lot of games where some games I find it, some games is just looking that it's completely out of my radar, and then you see in the analysis that this was the defending move and it was just completely out of your mind. You couldn't find it. One of the hardest moves in the chess game, at least to humans, is the backward knight moves. They are so difficult for some reason, and we tend to miss it a lot of times. Those are the hardest moves to find. Magnus will have a lot of think, in my opinion, after this move. Magnus will think a lot, because there is a lot of threats. Now g6 is the first threat, knight to f7, then knight to d6, as they've mentioned. I don't know where else should you put this knight. I don't think any other trade is working in favor for you. You want to pressure this white knight.
Retreat square, you might even have to step back to e1, but I'll remind everyone at home, Magnus's last move was just rook to e3, so he would have lost to tempi. And,
yeah.
If not rook back to e1.
Really, Magnus would have to.
G4 backfires. After this, just simply g6, and this pawn will be x-rayed.
Yes.
Move your knight with a check, but it's just one check. Your knight will always get hit and caught on such an awkward square like this. How else do you give it escape squares? If you ignore this, for example, play a move like b3, just to try and release this rook to protect the a2 pawn. Again, g6, the white knight is forced to a terrible square, and now black's knight can start coming forward. Maybe there's something.
Okay, so this is Hikaru's idea.
To try and make use of the fact that white knights are so awkward right now, but yeah, even if you were to just move forward, clearly it's black who's making progress here. You can start pushing pawns on the queen side.
I have a feeling that Magnus will lose this game. This is just, I mean, Magnus can draw, as you saw, many games. He managed to draw even games with material down. He's amazing in finding those kind of resources. He's one of the best, obviously, if not the best ever. But still, I think this position is so hard to play for white. That's the reason why I think Hikaru will win. It's really hard for white to play. Even in some games when you have a lost material, but you have some initiative and some passed pawns, you can play on that. Here it's really hard to play as white. You don't have any ideas what to do, what to plan. What should you play here as Magnus? What would you play here? How to defend, where to go. You have to go probably with rook e1, I'm guessing, to retreat this knight on e3. That's the only way to let's see what he will play.
Apparently we missed one confessional that we're not going to catch up with now, but Hikaru
h3
actually said in his last confessional that we didn't play that he prepped this bishop takes c6 idea by white as an inaccuracy. He was ready for it. He prepped it for Fabi. He ended up not getting it. So we have
wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Hikaru actually prepped this and he got this in the game. That's amazing. Well, Magnus not thinking too much. He plays h3.
In his last confessional visit, how happy he is with this position. He was happy to get black twice with the first 2 rounds, which you talked about. And so, what a surprise and or I guess victory it would be if Hikaru is to take a dub with black against Magnus Carlsen, but you can't write it up better than this to start.
Yeah, and I just, I mean, full of praise for Hikaru right now, but I just want to explain Magnus's last move because I realized there was a direct threat from Hikaru on the last turn after he dropped back that knight, rotated his knight's chat, knight h8. If black had another move, if white were to do nothing, for example, b3 I mentioned,
G6.
I just want to follow this line through one move further than earlier. Suddenly g5 would have pretty much won the game on the spot. This knight is attacked.
Okay. Takes.
And at the very end of the line, there's g4, hitting the white knight, driving it away, and the black rook enters. And the black knight
Wow.
the party forward to a beautiful outcome.
That's amazing. So g6 immediately played by Hikaru. G6 immediately. Hikaru knows what he's doing.
G4 square, meaning that black cannot play g6, g5, g4 all with tempo. That's how deep and sophisticated the players are looking right now.
This is crazy. Honestly, those knights are in trouble. They're wrestling each other for squares along with wrestling the rook and other pawns. But
Magnus playing fast as well, so that's good for us. Knight h4, okay, that was expected. And now let's see what Hikaru will play.
was borderline like only move to hold there, and Hikaru's feeling it, you know.
Hikaru's feeling it, and what would be a better start to his Norway Chess 2024 event as the defending champion than taking down the world number 1? He had the black pieces yesterday against the world number 2, Fabiano Caruana. He's got the black pieces today against the world number 1, Magnus Carlsen, and he's doing great. So if you start the event with
So how will Hikaru continue this game? It would be, I don't know why in this tournament it doesn't show the computer suggestions. Maybe this makes it better. I'm not sure why. Probably this makes the game more interesting for us viewers, but I don't know. Okay, Hikaru almost wanted to make a move.
The defending champion, David, building on your point, he seems to like this format better than the hometown hero. I mean, this is his hometown, of course, Magnus loves it here, but Hikaru loves this format, at least right now.
What will he play?
It's momentum carried over from last year, potentially, and of course, it is still early, but we talk about it like it's a big moment, because it is a big moment, and we're having fun, and early moments like this may not be exactly the game you're remembering at the end of the event, but it has just as much to do with it. So, will Hikaru continue to push against Magnus Carlsen? We're going to come back and keep our eye on it. Right now, we back this thing up. Take a look. I spy with my little eye something that is purple, by the way. We haven't looked at that. It's my favorite color. You said, okay. But actually, Anna Muzichuk maybe has more chances in that endgame. Maybe not. Maybe we'll stick with some of the decisive chess. Unfortunately, as I look at the middle board, it looks like Pia didn't quite appreciate something about knight f6. By the way,
Oh, Pia Kramling didn't play knight f6. What? He played knight she played knight f8. I mean, the position is still slightly better, but she just lost the original advantage she had. That's weird.
My favorite rhyme is knight on f8, there is no mate, but in this case, you should have been the one going for mate, not protecting your own king. So
yeah.
Oh no, there is no mate with the knight on f8.
By the way, is that your favorite rhyme of all time? Like in every nursery, is that?
I mean, apart from Humpty Dumpty, that's my favorite.
Favorite? That's a chess grandmaster right there. With the knight on f8, there is no mate. And you're right, though, David. In this case, Pia missed a chance for that knight to be helping deliver mate to Lei Qingzhe. We should bring it back up and show it again, because it. I don't know that we have. Oh wait, unless you want to. Okay, wait. Vaishali's game also getting spicy.
Yeah, I was going to jump there too because things are heating up. That was the calmest of openings when we checked in. I think Danny, you even mentioned this for now is one of the most peaceful positions, but that was a couple of moves ago, and maybe we should rewind what happened. David, how is the pawn on h5 and why is black better?
Yeah, a lot can happen in the space of 2 or 3 moves. Let's jump in, rewind, action replay. Actually, the last moment we were here, black had just castled.
Look at the accuracy on Hampi Cornero. That's just insane.
Has forgotten to castle herself.
Insane.
Charlie, why has she hesitated? This is why. Pawn to h4. She's got ambitious intentions. She wants to wipe out here her compatriot, and h4 clearly aiming to
h4 played, okay.
Black knight does have some launching pads of its own. d5 now, fighting wing action with central action, classical chess wisdom, really strong move from Humpy. And after a trade of pawns h5, the key question is whether black can just jump in. If she can, she might be doing extremely well. If she has to retreat, I could see why white has spent all these tempi on pushing the h.
Now let's see where this black knight will go.
I don't want to lean too hard into the obvious narrative here, but you just
Knight f4, but
you've got an OG.
if g3, then knight goes back on e6.
Experienced, second oldest player in the field behind Pia Cromling and Humpy Canero. And we know that Vaishali is very young, right? She's got an amazing future, but I love, let's just highlight d5 again. And this is wisdom for everyone watching. When your opponent launches a flank attack, the best advice always, first remedy if available, is open the center and change the pawn structure. Humpy Canero just doesn't even need to be asked. Boom, d5 is on the board, and black is just instantly better. You joked that white should have castled. Vaishali overthinking it. Maybe a little too much alpha zero in the new generation, right? She plays h4, pushing that pawn like Leela, like alpha zero, but this is a great position for black. Just put the knight on f4. That king is in the center. The attack means nothing here. So it just looks like a great spot. And Humpy Canero could move to winning her first two matches as black. We talk about Hikaru. He won an Armageddon against Fabiano. Maybe going to get a win against Magnus. Humpy Canero looking to do the same here, Anna.
Yeah, they are the only two players.
Be right back, guys. Have to drink some water and I will be back. And to open up a window.
It's going really well for them, so maybe players will start preferring playing with the black pieces. As we mentioned, it's a double round robin. Everyone plays against everyone with both colors, so it will even out throughout the tournament, but everyone wants to start on a high note. Everyone wants to get a score in as soon as possible, and if you start a winning streak, oof, that gives such a boost in one's confidence. And chess is a lot of psychology and mental determination and being there, believing that you can do it.
Agreed. Couldn't have said it better. This is a huge momentum, a good start. The momentum would be hugely in Humpy Canero's favor if he gets this job done with black. It would be debatable which has more momentum in their favor, Hikaru or Humpy, and we'll find out if they both do manage to get the job done as black. But David, what's she thinking about here? Why not just knight gf4? Is there something better? Something else you want to throw at us?
Yeah, originally I was thinking, of course, knight f4. What else? I was slightly tempted by knight h4 for a moment until I realized I would blunder a piece. In this way, bishop takes d5, covers the g2 square, so the black knight cannot snack on that pawn, and the black queen, if she recaptures, would lose control over the h4 knight, so rook takes h4. Then I was starting to think, okay, maybe you take the bishop first, and then try to jump your knight in, but white here would most likely move the queen, castle the king on the queen side, and just really crazy position ahead. So I can see the attraction here for Vaishali. I don't really see it. Why not to play knight f4? I guess the reply will be queen to f3 just to cover this pawn. Maybe she's just trying to look as far into the future as possible, trying to find a follow-up. Because the black knights, the superfluous knights, they do get a bit tangled in each other's way. They're both a bit loose. And yeah, if you don't find anything immediate here, if white gets castled, if white drives the knight into e4, g3, suddenly this could turn. So yeah, not one-sided traffic, I'm going to say. Humpy potentially in the current position is even tempted to go back. Simply because it's safer, and the knight can always reroute itself to the f5 square instead. Maybe she wants to kind of keep f5, f4 up her sleeve for later.
I like that. That was really interesting to see how quickly this position could turn around, or at least become more double-edged. And just like that, she does choose the safer option, if you will, perhaps avoiding some of those really forcing lines you just showed. And you know, the queen is going to develop from d1, whether she goes to e2 or f3, and castles long will be on the agenda. That's Vaishali's plan, right? Justify the advance of the h-pawn. So we like black, we like Humpy Canero's wisdom to open the center, and let's not forget that even if Vaishali castles, the a-file is already open over there for Humpy, and b5, b4 is coming. So having said that, I still think this is a bit of a regrettable decision to go for this line by Vaishali, but it's interesting. This could get really crazy. And for sure, white's probably not castling short anymore. So we're going to get a fun one here, no matter what. All right, let's back up to the bird's eye view and figure out where we want to go next before our next break. Been told that Hikaru Nakamura has gone into the professional booth. Hikaru's a professional streamer. He says he's not a professional player. But Hikaru has gone into the confessional booth, so we're going to play that at the break for our subscribers. We appreciate your support. Throw us a sub. Don't miss a moment of that action. Hikaru, yeah, we're not going to play the old confessional, I'm being told by production. We're going to play a new one that he just went in. Okay, good talk from the team working hard behind the scenes. Thank you. Anna, which game do we want to go to?
I think we need to go to Magnus versus Hikaru, since then we get to hear Hikaru's thoughts on that game. We may as well check in on. I think only a move or two happened since, but I would like to ask David about this last bishop move of Hikaru. Why bishop d7? What is his setup going to be?
Yeah, really good point, Anna. Let's just do a quick action replay of the last few turns. We left it after knight to h4. Knight f7 play, maybe the most natural move on the board. White plays g4, and suddenly it's going to be hard to ever kick away this white knight, because f5 will be a nice launching pad for it. So I do wonder whether Hikaru actually in this position should have started with a move like h5. That would have been very Magnus-esque. Only then kind of playing moves like king g7, knight f7, and saying to the white knight on h4, look, you're just a silly piece. Instead, Hikaru plays knight f7, and this is the mysterious one. As you mentioned, Anna, counterintuitive, especially since the bishop was doing such a good job of tying down a rook in the corner, eyeing up the a2 pawn. I wonder whether he could have started with a move like a5, a4, and only once white kind of defends this pawn or moves the pawn on a2, then committed the black bishop. But Hikaru first retreated, and maybe the idea is to put the bishop on this diagonal, looking at the white king. I'm struggling here. Anna, what else could the idea be? But bishop c6, it doesn't even seem like it does too much.
Yeah, I'm puzzled because I thought this is the bishop maneuver Hikaru was going for, but I agree with you, David, that the bishop was so nicely placed on e6 and tying down white's rook in the corner, which I think was the big point there, that now that the bishop moved away, Magnus immediately develops his rook. Of course, he's taking his chance to get that rook out of the corner, and I think the advantage of black is evaporating.
It's still there a little bit, right? And I think that even though maybe the worst of it would have been, I loved your h5 idea, David, to really stop what Magnus has done with h3 and g4. That would have prevented the expansion of the king side. But okay, we could sit here and try to come up with the plan Hikaru has in his head to keep his advantage alive. But instead, let's just throw to Hikaru as we head to a break. Again, subscribers, we appreciate your support. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. Actually, we're going to sit right here and listen into what Hikaru had to say, because we are all on the edge of our seat with that, just like you at home. Don't go anywhere. Round 2 of the 2024 Norway Chess continues when we return.
All right, you guys. So we're back. Yeah, I've definitely gotten what I wanted out of the opening. The funny thing is, I don't remember with the pawns on h2, h7, or h3, h6, but this is this bishop takes c6 line was played in the game that I mentioned, featuring one of my seconds, Nicholas Hushenbeth and Shakhtar Mamedyarov. Don't remember the pawns were on h3, h3, h6, or h2, h7, but this whole bishop c6 line in that game, I think Shak took d6 line, this whole de5, knight e5 endgame. Now Shakhtar won that game anyway with black, but this e takes d4 should simply be an improvement, and Magnus surprisingly took with the knight.
Okay, so I'm back, guys.
Deeper after c takes d4.
Hikaru in confessional
I'm
booth.
completely fine here. I'm actually starting to second guess myself a little bit after my last move. I have this feeling that maybe I should have played bishop c4 instead of f6. Really, it's kind of this question of what am I playing for? Am I trying to play for more and play to be better here, or is it just equal? I had this slight feeling that I might be a little bit better in this position. Just sort of this feeling that I have about it, but I don't think I should be worse here, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. You know, I think one great thing is I've played Magnus so many times, I've lost so many dead equal endgames, that's why I didn't actually take this knight on f5. Like, I have a feeling that probably for the computer, there's some line with bishop takes f5, e5, and like maybe rook d8 first instead of bishop e6, and it's probably a dead draw on the spot, but I've lost a few too many equal positions, so I kind of want to keep some pieces on the board here rather than trying to simplify right away. And I think that unless I'm missing something here, I think it's much more on Magnus to be precise than on me, and if anything, I think that I should be the one who's fighting for the advantage here. So is looking pretty good right now. I mean, we'll see what Magnus does, but these ideas like bishop c4, d3, bishop d7, c6, if he goes knight e3, I have bishop f7, knight f5, and then maybe bishop c4, bishop e6 with a draw. So I think I'm doing...
Hikaru is like Hikaru talking like he's on the stream.
He's not just much worse here. So I feel very, very good. And I think the game, yesterday and the game today, at least the classical ones have gone about as smoothly as they could. So barring some mishap or slip up by me, I think I'm in very, very good shape here. So feeling pretty good. And like as I said, I played Magnus so many times that the one thing you have to always be careful against Magnus is to not slip up. I mean, as soon as you think it's like you're fine, you've saved the game, or maybe not even saved, but generally when you think you're okay, that's usually the moment of the most danger when you kind of fall asleep at the wheel. So that's the main thing that I'm trying to focus on. But I think overall I've got a great position here, and I don't think there's any world where I should be worse. So I feel pretty good. It's all good. See you guys later.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. And they are still keep playing the game. As you can see, Magnus now playing King G3. Feruzia Caruana still a big battle. Ding Liren decided to pick up with his queen there. He was thinking a lot, by the way. Hikaru also getting ready to play fast. Vaishali Koneru has a better position. Pia Kramling unfortunately lost her advantage. The position is dead equal right now. So it's offered knight attacking the rook, and now Pia Kramling has to make a move. Unfortunately, this bishop is disconnected. So knight f6 was a good move simply because it was stopping the knight to g4 threat. But sometimes you have to be luck moves. It's not always, you know. Okay, something just happened. Hopefully they will... Okay, the stream is back. Sometimes you need a luck. This kind of moves, this move, knight f6, seemed completely logical and completely normal, and I think everyone would find it, but Pia didn't find it. And now with this move, and we see a trade happening right now, and white is now doing better by computer evaluation after this trade. Simply black doesn't have any other initiative. h5 square is protected. Yes, white has a double pawns, but with perfect play, white will be fine. Of course, you need to prove that, obviously. But unfortunately, knight f6 was the way to continue this game, but Pia Kramling missed it, and now she is a bit worse. So, yeah. Hikaru playing really fast. They are almost the same. They are almost the same as positional, I mean time-wise, clock-wise, but Hikaru has a better position. Okay, so the coverage will continue.
(2024) Norway Chess, 2024 Norway Chess Women. These events are running here in Stavanger, Norway. The players are playing in the playing hall. Thanks for being with us. It's amazing. It's an amazing vibe down there. The red carpet there in front of the boards for a reason. Because these guys and gals are rock stars. Make no mistake. Probably the two biggest rock stars maybe ever to play the game as far as global notoriety. I don't know. I just said it. Can't take it back. It's on the internet. It's online. It's there. Dingli Ren and Pragnananda throwing down. And we're going to get some decisive chess today in classical, I got a feeling. And Alireza Perugia might be the guy to deliver it. Fabiano Caruana still in the think tank as we speak.
Fabiano again with the time trouble. That's unfortunate.
The bird's eye view, and decide which game we want to dive into.
Yeah.
This time it's my call. I'm not even going to throw it to either of you. I want to go see what's going on with Vaishali and Canero.
Yeah.
We were kind of just there.
Vaishali now losing the grip on the position.
And G4 is on the board. G4 for the score. Let's do it. Let's go see how crazy that game's about to get, David. Why is Black's advantage so potentially big here? I don't know that it's so obvious when it first meets the eye, or Vaishali would have just pushed the G point.
So G4 is a mistake.
G4 for what score? That's my big question. It feels like it's just way too loose, too weakening here. The white king neglected in the center. Normally, as well, when you have the bishop pair, you want to be able to control the pace of the game. Bishops come to life later on. When you have knights, that's when you want to accelerate things. And Vaishali's doing the hard work for her opponent. She's accelerating the play with moves like G4. Maybe she wants to play G5, but even that doesn't look too scary for Black. You can always eliminate the bishop.
Yeah.
Then take a pawn on G5, but more pertinently here, I think Anna Hikaru, she's being pushed into finding strong moves. F5 might just be a real cold shower for Vaishali right now.
I think F5 is a move that potentially Vaishali missed, because if you push G4 and then there's this follow-up with F5, which creates a pawn break.
Yes.
Pawn break will lead to opening files, for instance the F5 for the rook. Black's minor pieces will also get closer.
Yes, this would be a really devastating for white here.
With the opening of the position,
This position will be opened, and this would be not good for white. Unfortunately, chain of pawns will be broken, and
you do not want this.
Yeah.
You do not want an immediate direct contact between the two armies. You want to make sure you have enough time to somehow get your king out of danger. I think G4 is marked as a mistake and seems to be a missed idea. I think she missed F5 because otherwise I just don't understand why would she want
definitely this is not looking good, because your king is in the center, and
Funny though, I mean, I agree with everything you said, although as I look at
Conero really played it well, because as they mentioned before, when you see a flank attack, you always try to open up the center. You try to create some center attack. This is one of the ways to play.
G-file, right, for the black king. It voluntarily pins the knight on D5 to the bishop on C4, and that's just an interesting move to play, right? And so I think
yes, F5 looks unpleasant because of this pin, but this knight is perfectly safe here. I don't think any other way to attack this knight. Maybe with queen F3, but still everything is defended, so this knight is still defended. You have enough ways to defend this pawn. You can even play bishop to E6 if you wish to play.
And it opens up white's lines, but if we analyze it, David, I'd like to see what happens on F5. G takes F5. So you obviously can't allow it for, right? G takes F5 and knight takes F5, and then I wanted to show that queen F3 doesn't work, which is key, because queen F3 would maybe be super interesting to attack the knight on D5 and for her to castle, but I thought knight F takes E3 would both attack the queen and protect the knight. But what's wrong? Oh, the queen can just take. Very nice, and the knight's spin. So actually, maybe you can play queen F3. So that's interesting, and with the queen coming out. Now Vaishali is getting.
What's the black's continuation in this position?
The king on the queen side. So I'm kind of in the camp of this is obviously sort of shifting in a very risky way for Vaishali, right? But this is going to get spicy, and the tactics are kind of tricky. What does black have to play then? If not knight takes E3, bishop E6 or C6? Ooh. Oh wait. Ooh.
Humphrey played a move we did not consider. We were looking at the king side, and she's pushing a pawn on the queen side, sacrificing a pawn. Is it to prepare F5? Does she not want that pin with the bishop on C4?
I'm wondering the same thing.
Also, I just want to point out, sneaky double attack. She's been doing her puzzle rush, because bishop takes B5 in this position. You take on E3.
Take.
These pieces drop off.
Oh, beautiful. Double attack.
You can't even take that pawn.
So sneaky.
Well, I did not do my puzzle rushes recently. It
This is
clearly
one of those puzzle rush
shows.
moments where it's like the first position of the day is loading, 3, 2, 1, and you're like, oh, they're gonna play bishop takes B5, and I have to be ready to move knight takes E3 and queen takes D5. as quickly as possible. Anyway, but no, what a nice little move. So that means the bishop is going to retreat. I don't think taking d5 is, and we can just show it. Taking d5 and the queen, okay, never mind. No, it's already been played. You don't take on d5. Yeah, anything is good there. And so now, b5, a useful little tempo. Maybe she goes back for f5 anyway, David.
Yeah, still looks tempting. I don't think she's changed too much. If anything, she's made it less attractive for white to castle on the queen side because she can blow open the a file now.
Yeah, now black has the initiative here. First b5 and now f5 maybe.
It's like the way to go still.
Oh, but f5.
Okay, the eval bar doesn't like
Yeah.
this time.
Oh, what changed?
But after f5, what do you play?
C5 squares available for the white bishop.
Aha, okay, so bishop c5 is a possibility. Okay.
Oh,
That could be a reason that b5 was no bueno.
Yeah, b5 was actually not so good.
There's no bueno.
Suddenly white would have one move. I'm not sure what you do with the move.
Yeah, b5 was not so good.
is it just that since she's not forced to take on f5, she could consider pushing g5? Is that the idea?
Wow, that could be crazy.
Nice.
Wow.
That's
I love that idea. You just open up the G file. It's funny, if Vaishali's rewarded for this, it would be a really interesting thing, because this is a game where it's not that we were wrong. We can see the data, we have help, and very strong chess players here, but it shows the practical attack that Vaishali is launching. Not that hard to figure. I mean, not that easy to figure out for Hikaru. So this is going to be a fun one for the rest of the day. If not f5, what's the move? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I just lost
I would like to see what's going on the other boards, Caruana, Firozia, and of course Magnus and Hikaru, the main game. I would like to see that. Let's see if they will switch it up. Still, black in this game is doing better, obviously, but f5 now is no longer a move because of bishop c5 here for Vaishali.
Your thoughts on this change of how a small pawn push? We originally thought it's in Humpe's favor because it's discouraging Vaishali from castling queenside, and at the same time it gave up the c5 square, so there's no longer f5, f4 trying to trap the bishop. What is she going to do? Maybe she doesn't want to push the f-pawn at all.
Yeah, I think she shouldn't push the f-pawn anymore. If that was her plan at all, I'm not sure it was. But, yeah,
Maybe some, well, like they mentioned, maybe now black has to. Black now has to find some other plan. We'll see what Hampi will do.
Positional means bishop e6, maybe knight c6. Just kind of sit on the position and say to the white king, you're not going anywhere. But now Vaishali does have one nice launch pad for her pieces on e4. So
Yeah, this knight will look really well.
my kind of line of questioning Vaishali, I thought she was playing too ambitiously. I remember doing the same.
Has anyone ever seen Magnus and Mites in the same room? I find interesting question in the chat on chess.com Twitch. Stephen McCown, how is it pronounced? Sorry if I butchered your name. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Bishop e6. So yeah, black just plays positionally. Now maybe f5 would be available here. Yeah, and she's good on time.
When Vaishali was growing up, she was looking up the games of Humpy, learning from her games.
Oh, that's so cool, because as you heard, people mentioned that they were learning. Vaishali was learning from Hampi. I'm not that familiar with female Indian chess players, so Hampi is probably like female version of Anand. I don't think she was a world champion, but still she was #1 ranked player in India probably, and she was a fan probably of and many girl players were looking up to her, or generally Indian players analyzing her game, so she was probably a #1 thing in India, and she probably still is. I don't know if she's #1 ranked player in India, but she probably is.
I'm going to let you save the emote for a different time, because I want to back up and say that it does seem that Magnus Carlsen is on his way to holding it. It was potentially sliding off the rails there for a minute. We were anticipating
Magnus Carlsen again, so good.
Look like for the defending Norway chess
so good at defending, so good at finding right ways to in the position, even if the opening is messed up. But now computer gives black only slight advantage, and
activated the king to g3, right? I mean, this if you had just joined right here and we had somehow missed the action, we'd be like, okay, you know, like very equal, right?
Yeah, it feels like he missed a trick, Hikaru.
Yeah.
Just his bishop not that great on c6. I understand why he put it there. He wanted to put some pressure on white central pawn, but yeah, it feels like he's just found the wrong plan. And actually,
yeah, it's really hard to find the best plans. It's easy for us when we look at computers and we know what is best, but for players, you know.
More importantly, trading off some pieces when you have a better structure. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Knight g2 might come round to f4. Yeah, Magnus. I was going to say he's in a nightmare scenario. He loves to grind out these types of positions from the...
Magnus was in a really difficult spot, but now he managed to equalize it.
He stabilized. That's the main thing.
He stabilized, and it could turn. You're right, because if e5 happens, and that 3-on-2 becomes a majority, if we just imagine f, g, and h versus g and h, guess where all white's pieces are?
Hikaru blunder. No, Hikaru didn't blunder, bro. Why are this? I mean, this is not a blunder. The game is just equal, so Hikaru didn't miss any tactics. I'm watching the comments from chess.com here, probably Twitch account. Highlighted comments.
Everything on the queen side has shifted there, so should be equal, but one that has definitely become a 3-result position again, though. I wouldn't be surprised if something turned and Magnus got an advantage that he could push for.
Yeah. And,
this can always happen with Magnus. I mean, he's just that good. As Hikaru mentioned in the confessional booth, he's so good at finding the right moves, and as Hikaru said that in those kind of positions where you have completely dead draws and you make a mistake and Magnus beats you, that's when you need to be that's when you need to be very cautious playing against Magnus. You need to have in mind that playing against Magnus is always a difficult task, and when you kind of feel that you are in control, when you think that everything is fine, that this is a draw and everything will be fine, that's when Magnus usually turns the game around. So you have to be careful playing against Magnus. As you see, he managed to equalize this position, and now, as the commentators mentioned as well, if you just stop by this game and you saw it, you see a dead equal game as usual with top players. But it actually wasn't like this at all. Magnus was really in trouble from the opening. His opponent Hikaru surprised him. It was a Spanish game, Archangelsk variation, and Queen f6 move by Hikaru completely left Magnus unprepared there, and Hikaru was mentioning that he was very well prepared about this line, and that's the reason why he got advantage of the opening. But unfortunately now Magnus equalized the game, and it will be interesting until the very end. c4 played for Magnus. Let's look at the other boards. So Firuz is still having advantage over Caruana, slight advantage. This was a fun game. Pragnanda and Dingliren, equal game for now. Vaishali still on the move against Koneru, and finally they moved to Fabiano and Caruana. Wow, Fabiano has 29 minutes left.
10 seconds is not that much time. You said that
wow.
Classical used to 30 seconds when the increment kicks in.
So the time control is 120 minutes at the start, and after move 40, 10 seconds per move is added. So, and now Danny Range says that it's not too much actually when you think about it. So you don't have an additional 45 minutes after the move 40. You just get 10 seconds per move. That's the increment you receive. And now Black is going for this move 40. Yeah, Fabi hates time management. Comments from Twitter, people are joking about Fabi's time management. I'm having time trouble as well. Can get into a time trouble thinking about a bit too much.
this game.
So no more bishops. This king, it seems like this king is in danger, but you don't have enough pieces to attack it, and Firouzja doing just fine.
If after rook g7, black just challenges the rook on the 7th rank, it still looks attractive, I've got to say. Firouzja's position, board anchor.
I love rook to g7, rook on the 7th rank is always
Alireza probably want to go for a win. Why not? I mean, you have this huge time advantage. You shouldn't rush anything. You shouldn't make any crazy decisions and any sudden moves. You just don't want to do that.
I agree. That looks strong, actually. It's still a very easy position for Firouzja to play, despite Fabi having won back the pawn, right? If you're just tuning in, it was an interesting London. You might want to click through over at chess.com/events. It was a weird novelty. I'm not sure really who's surprised too, but at some point it became clear that Fabi was more uncomfortable. And so even though black has won back the pawn, now white has other things. By the way, we haven't talked about queen b5 as something to watch out for. I know it's not a move now, David, but I'm sitting here spying it as Anna was talking about the rook on the
Queen b5 is another move here that white can play.
You do, like, queen b5 is like devastating coming. Yeah. And that king is trapped in the center. So I agree with the featured chatter there, though, that we need more Firouzja and Fabi in the confessional booth. I'm going to say that. I'm going to tell them that in between games today.
They still didn't show up to confessional booth. They're not using this thing, and confessional booth is a really cool thing. Is a really cool thing because it allows us people who are watching behind the scenes to get into players' minds and to see how they're thinking, how they're feeling about the position. Unfortunately, Magnus and Hikaru and only Pragnananda use this. The rest of the players are just not thinking about going to the confessional booth. Not to probably say conserving their energy, but we fans want to see people what they're thinking about the position. It's much interesting for us.
I don't think we're throwing to that right now. Probably at our next break. But yeah, this is going to be crazy. Firouzja taking his time, David. What do you think he's thinking about now? Is there something more concrete than rook g7? Queen b5 right away is no good, right? Because rook d7 actually takes care of both. If we want to just analyze it real quick.
Yeah, let's jump in with some moves. Like you say, Danny, always we should be looking at forcing moves first. That's what Firouzja is looking at. Queen b5. I still quite like it from an aesthetic point of view.
Queen b5 still looks perfectly fine. Rook d7. Computer, of course, computer has his ideas. Rook d7 is perfectly fine, and now knight b3 and knight c5 jumping there, attacking this rook. And rook g7 immediately. Let's see what it got. Okay, another rook there, but it's actually not good. Computer doesn't like it. Yeah, for some reason. Evaluation bar doesn't like it.
The rook is queen h6, but then of course it drops the eval bar. So what could it be? This looks so natural. Looks very strong for white as well.
I like it a lot from white's perspective, but we might be missing the computer's point on how you get rid of that rook on the 7th.
Wow. Okay, I was a bit naughty here. I cheated. I checked.
David!
But apparently black's best by far in this position would be to simply trade rooks. Which
okay, you trade the rooks and...
with an active rook, black is left with a passive one.
But...
And then just to ignore. Just say king f8. But
king f8?
No way.
What is this? This is a sacrifice?
You're sacrificing the pawn? Oh no, not rook g8. Something else?
This is crazy.
What is this line? What is that? Yeah, queen g5 and basically win on the spot. So not rook g8. But this is too scary for any human to play this. This is too scary.
Queen h4 going to f2. That has to be it.
Tani, you found it.
That's gotta be okay. Queen h4, and now, and the difference is that now rook g8 when it comes, you're threatening queen to g3. So that's got to be the idea.
Yeah, and this is really difficult to see. Fair play to Firouzja if he spotted this, and this is the reason he's not jumped in with rook g7 instantly. Because this is...
Let's see. This is interesting. If Firouzja will be able to find this, move, that would be insane. If he spots this tactic, wow, that would be so cool.
F1, it looks really ugly, and suddenly black's having some fun. F4 maybe, and the White King is the weaker of the two. This is really, really tricky stuff. I don't think I would find that in a million years.
Yeah, no one would find this. This sacrifice is so unhumane. You would never, I would never allow this to happen in my position. Picking up this pawn, losing a pawn like this, making this knight lose like crazy. This queen invading, this is just too scary. So scary. Unless you calculated something really concrete, that you have a checkmate or you win some huge material and your king is safe, then yes, maybe, and only then. But other than that, this is just too much of a risk involved.
We might need to go back to our bird's eye view and
Might be here for a little while.
take a look at the rest of the game.
But he's also managing his clock, which is
He
good.
is.
Because
No,
he's
he's doing
earned
very
that time
well.
advantage.
Yeah, and he's investing it in the right moment. This is one of those critical moments where you do want to invest your time.
Firuzia really smart with his time management. Now he waits. He doesn't need to rush. That's the point. As I mentioned, you have a small advantage, so take your time. You have a huge advantage in time management on the clock, and there's never this is not a way to rush, and there is no need to rush at all. So let's see the other boards. Nakamura still has a small advantage here. We'll see what will happen. Caruana, we saw Pragnanda and Ding still game is equal. Vaishali and Koneru game is really slow. Kramling unfortunately lost her advantage, and now White is the one who has advantage. White defends everything well. This attack just went off. There is no longer attack from Pia Kramling, and she had this knight f6 beautiful move. And Zhu and Jun and Muzichuk are into the endgame already. This is a equal endgame, and we'll see how they will do. So the material is completely equal. We'll see what they will do.
She's about to start flexing a big majority in these, whatever you want to call them.
Pia Kramling made a mistake, at least by computer evaluation now, with the move queen to e7. This looks like a mistake.
It's a losing endgame, just call it like it is, right? If you don't get pressure on the king side or something to change the nature of these Sveshnikovs, White wins in these endgames like every time. It's a massive steamroll. So that's kind of bad, and it's unfortunate that Pia Kramling's pressure disappeared. Do we want to back up? We left this one with Knight f8. I think you should maybe give us a quick rundown of how things went astray.
Exactly, half a dozen moves since that moment, but a lot has changed. Let's just mention again, key moment. Forward was the name of the game here. Knight f8, a retreat.
Oh my god, this advertisement, okay.
Maneuver here, I've got to say, Knight e3, Queen e8, and just in time, the blue arrow appears again. White was able to fend off the attack with Knight to g4. A deadly threat, Queen h5. I think Pia Kramling was banking on this. This would have pretty much just been checkmate, if not for Knight g4. But another reason the Black Knight should have been on f6. Because it could
Yes, exactly. As I mentioned, Knight to f6 was the key move, keeping the Pia Kramling's advantage on the board. And unfortunately, she went Knight f8. With this Knight f6 move, nothing White couldn't just go for this plan. And it would be really difficult for White to defend this position. It wouldn't be a checkmate, but it would be a really, really difficult position here for White. But Anna missed the moment, as David mentioned, and now it's gonna be difficult.
Rooting for her. Lei is a friend of mine, but also Pia is just such a kind, pure-hearted human being. I don't even know how to describe someone as gracious, someone as a legend who is like the most humble human being. I think that's perhaps the way I can put it best. I talked to her a little bit at lunch, and I was telling her how we were rooting for her, and it's a pity that yesterday she didn't manage to win, even though she had the advantage. And she was just like, she's just happy to be here. She's just so grateful that she can be playing this event, and she just wants to enjoy the games. Like, she is a blessing to the chess world. We talked about how she was world #1 in 1984. That was Pia Kramling at the very top of the world's women ranking 40 years ago. It was 40 years ago, and that was before any of the other participants of either of the fields were born.
Anna Rudolph sharing some stories with Pia Kramling, and yeah, Pia Kramling is really an amazing human being. She's such a kind person, and
it's not over yet, and she's gonna dive in here, but definitely feels like, and objectively we can see beyond our feelings and our brain are aligned on the fact that this position has gotten away from Pia Kramling. White is, there you go, you highlighted it well. The queen is going to come behind the pawns. The light squares also belong
so
to White.
this is the way for White to continue. Queen to c2, b4, and then c5, creating a queenside majority because the kingside is pretty much blocked. I don't know how Black can counterattack this. Maybe some counterattack with doubling up the rooks on the f file, but still, it's not convincing enough. Not convincing enough at all.
Advance on the queen side, and yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, it feels like Pia, I mean, she's so strong in terms of just finding the kind of great natural squares for her pieces, but a bit like yesterday, she wants to keep control a bit too much. Sometimes you need to give some control in order to accelerate the play, strike dynamically. Here, playing very positionally, playing for outpost squares when she should be playing for checkmate. So yeah, I love how you put it, Anna, how she embodies this love of chess. Pia, everyone loves her, but this game, yeah, maybe just trying to play quicker than she did yesterday, but missing the key moments.
Well, Anna, you talked about Pia embodies the sport in so many ways, and we have a fun.
Of course, players do not have the evaluation board. They would know, but they just play the position, and then they have to. Whenever you play games, you don't have this feeling of, am I better and am I not? Sometimes yes, but in these kind of difficult positions, you're thinking, am I better or am I not? You know, it's really difficult to see and understand. So it's easy for us, but not easy for them at all. Highest rated woman chess player in the world. Back in the day, January 1000 and 1984. Wow.
World I wish we were living in. And of course, Steve Jobs launching a Macintosh personal computer. That's kind of a big deal. And there you go. And that was 1 year and 9 months before Danny Rich was born. Okay. I had no idea what was going to be on this slide. Production hit me with it to say, hey, let's talk about the world of 1984, not just the George Orwell novel. Most amazing starting first sentence to a book of all time, The Clock Struck 13. Shout out to you, Orwell. Okay, we're moving on. Pia Kramling. She's a legend. 1984, she was world number 1, but she's still competing against the world's top players today. Let's hope that any of us have a career like that when it's all said and done. So, but okay, you're right, Anna. She let the game yesterday slip away. Late Team J about to move here. Your move, David. I think Queen C2 is on the board, if I had to guess, just based on the body, you know, the way that. Yep, indeed. And this is going to be a tough
Queen C2.
I think now for Pia.
She finds the right move.
Yeah, White is in control, and White has an easy plan. And any trades also favor White. So yeah, all the odds stacked against Pia Kramling right now. Then again, I think the clock handling has been impressive. It's been a step forward for her. So yeah, let's not write off anything just yet. But for now, we'll zoom out of this game as Pia aims to come up with a plan of attack for Black, maybe improving the Black rook in the corner. And let's check in on some of the other games that are developing apace. This feels like the critical moments just before the time scramble in all of the games across both sections.
It does feel like it, and there's a one move update on the game that we were earlier analyzing with Firouzja not going for neither rook to g7 nor queen to b5.
What's going on? Okay, so Hikaru still has the advantage. That's good. So Hikaru still managed to get an advantage. Firouzja now kind of losing the original advantage he had, and knight to b3 was a mistake here by the computer.
Controlling everything. King f7 is a really classy move, but of course the first thing
King
Fabiano
f7
will calculate is taking this pawn. He's human. We're all greedy. We all love counting pawns at the end of every game. So queen takes f3. Let's jump in and show why not this move. I'm guessing it's because of the move knight to c5, hitting the huge weakness, the base of Black's pawn chain on e6, also hitting b7. If Black now defends that pawn, I think he can only try and defend it with his king. Then where's the knockout blow? Is it simply queen to b5 this time?
No, No.
according to the engine.
Probably rook f1 first, though. I think you had the right idea. It's just
yeah.
rook f1 first. You hit the queen out, I'm guessing, and then queen b5.
Yeah, and only
Yeah,
now
okay.
do you go for the king. Now that rook d7 has been taken away as a resource, the white knight, the white queen are going to combine deadly combo. So understandable. Taking on f3 in.
But if he doesn't take, how to continue here? Knight to b3 is a mistake. Then king to f7. Oh yeah, king to f7 is the move that
prophylaxis, as they say,
allows black to
knight c5, because now knight c5 can always just be
to completely equalize the game.
But
Maybe a little risky there because there's like queen a6 or something, or queen b5, and but I think I wonder if it's just in general that you go back to the g file in this queen h4 plan that we talked about, because the b7 pawn is so far out of way. I don't know if it would be rook h to g8 or queen h4 first. But
Maybe I will stream. Maybe I will stream tomorrow the same.
Exactly right. You made the g
The tournament. We will watch tournament again.
And okay, yeah.
good move. Great move, Danny.
I'm just dialed in on this game.
Yeah.
There's no engine here, man. This is trying to avoid looking at
He's
chat
reading
because
the
all they do
chat.
is say mean things. I'm dialed in right now. This is just guessing the best moves.
Okay, now
because I'm
something
excited about this game. And I do
something
think
was
it's
buggy with their cameras. As you saw, they're changing it a bit. Don't think Fabi has enough time to calculate it all.
I want to mention knight takes b7 as well. There'll be all sorts of rook
So the knight to b3. We'll see if Fabiano will find the moves.
queen takes f3. So yeah, really nice spot. Danny to the max.
Alireza wasted his, I believe, around 20 minutes thinking about his position and
Players do seem to have the Danny engine on with that
what is going on with their cameras. Just wild. Going there, going there.
Sharp, complex position, and that's what Fabi said in his interview with Jovi before the game, that he doesn't know what's gonna happen, but it's going to be sharp and complex. That's what their encounters are always like, because stylistically both players in fact like to go into these wild, very messy, complex dynamic positions, which is great for us as fans of this kind of dynamic chess.
It was funny that and he's found it. King
Oh,
of
nice,
Bobby
nice.
Caruana plays
Lee Hall, thank you for subscribing. Welcome. If you're on the stream, thank you for joining. I appreciate you subscribing, my friend.
That time disadvantage may come back to haunt Fabiano. Definitely something that's going to get wild here. Remember, the players don't start getting bonus time until they hit move 40. So, but okay, the amazing interview with Jovi kind of showed a jovial Caruana. But he said they asked him, or Jovi asked him, "Hey, do you have a surprise for today?" And he's like, "Well, we'll see if Perugia has a surprise, right?" By the way, didn't we have a word of the day earlier for jovial? I think jovial is the word of the day. Remember, we're giving away diamond memberships, and I'm pretty sure we officially decided that jovial would be the word of the day.
Nice play by Fabiano. I don't know if they reached the move 40. Not sure about that.
It's her name with.
I can. By the way, I cannot change the screens and check it out for myself, because the problem is that this live screen you see will become white if I change the. If I change anything else. That's how it works, unfortunately, with OBS, so I cannot change it.
The definition. Shout out to dictionaries just for existing. Shout out to dictionaries for existing, and for the team for very quickly looking up the definition of words. Right.
Accuracy almost the same, 96.9, 97.6. Amazing accuracy for both players. It's equalized. Magnus and Hikaru. Hikaru still has the advantage. This looks like a drawish endgame. We'll see.
Game too much, but it is fizzling towards a draw, so looks like we will get to cover an Armageddon.
Pragnanda Ding, a very equal position. Muzichuk and Zhu Wenjun looks like it will be a draw, and it will be Armageddon games later. And Leiting and Pia Kramling Lei now has the advantage. Pia Kramling had an amazing position and could have created an amazing position, but unfortunately Pia Kramling was
Magnus and Hikaru, I think we could take a look at
Pia
that.
Kramling missed this amazing resource, and that was really unfortunate.
Who is trying to achieve what? Is there any player in this endgame with chances to put pressure on the opponent? Who is trying to get the upper hand here, or are they both just holding?
I'm kind of liking a little bit what happened for Hikaru.
And where is the confession booths? We are not getting any more confession booths. What is going on?
There, if E5 could be punched through, David, to E5 isn't happening.
Okay, so they finally got it back. The position is equal. Black slightly better. Knight to E1 played for Magnus.
Plan that he is up to with that knight F3 to E1.
I mean, the pawn breaks belong to white. That's the only thing that I can see in Magnus's favor.
F4, I don't know about F4. Maybe could be. Let's see what would happen if Hikaru jumps. He takes. He pushes the knight, then takes, and then you have to retreat your rook, and this is not good for black at all. Magnus is such an amazing player. He always finds a way to outmaneuver his opponents, holding the position. He's such an amazing player. Now Hikaru is down on the clock. Although he had a big advantage in the beginning with the opening, now he's thinking, Hikaru thinking.
On right squares. Normally that's going against conventional wisdom because they're just targets for the black bishop long term. But ultimately he's locked down both flanks, and yeah, not that many weaknesses for Magnus. It's only really E4 and B3, and he's covering both of them. I can see this turning.
Yeah, it's against conventional wisdom, but that the wisdom of that bishop has to find a way to use it, right? And so here the pawns are also limiting that bishop's mobility. And unless you put that bishop on c2 or something, I mean, right now it would be taken, but you get the point that that bishop could somehow get behind the...
Yeah, that would be amazing endgame plan for Hikaru, but this of course needs to happen. You cannot just teleport your bishop like that. Let's just see if I can...
The d file is counterplayed for black for sure, but yeah, this...
Maybe a bit more
This is close to equal, but a 3
to bring more light.
Anything could happen here. Oh, we have left off. Rook e to d6.
Rook e to d6 played by...
Very logical, because especially for what we analyzed with f4 and the knight attacking the rook,
played by Hikaru there.
it's much more active.
So he changes the plans, waiting for Magnus's response.
At the same time, there isn't that much going on that open d file. You can go to d2. And then what?
Yeah, it's unclear which side wants to trade which pieces right now.
Hikaru getting nervous, I bet, something from the Twitch comments. Yeah, he probably is. Now it's a crucial part of the game. Probably we will not be seeing any more of them in the confessional booth because time is of the essence right now. You don't wanna just sit down in the confessional booth and think about waste your time, possibly players playing the game. So
Great comment from feature chat there. My favorite Bon Jovial song.
Magnus as always finds the way to equalize the position. He's such an amazing player, and he's such a
Anyway, we've got
such a legend, Magnus Carlsen.
Although I want to point out that if you get too crazy, if you're Magnus, it could backfire because that king being in that sort of precarious looking spot on g3. I was looking at f4 captures, knight takes, and then knight g5, and now e4 is a problem, the bishop on the diagonal. So there's, it's, I don't know if it works. No, apparently it's good for white.
Maybe white's able just in time to break through with e5, and actually the black king, we shouldn't forget.
The e file.
The double rooks on the e file. Those rooks.
Okay, this is one of the ways that Magnus can play.
They are about to launch a mating net around the black king.
Okay, this is good to look at, though, because it shows these are the variations that could happen, right? If both players aren't careful, or if someone makes a mistake in the eval.
Yeah, this could be
because of a line like that. So,
I totally agree, though. F4, you really got to work it out at the right moment, because E4 is going to be a huge weakness for the rest of the game. You've pretty much committed no more fortress. It's just becoming a bit more dynamic. Clock's roughly level. Yeah, interesting. Feels like Hikaru is still trying to put the pressure on. Magnus has been just rotating his pieces really, really well. Yeah, tense. Critical moments ahead.
All right. Well, critical moments ahead. Every game is still going, by the way. If you're just tuning in, everyone, this is round 2 of 2024 Norway Chess, Norway Chess Women, and we got a lot of chess ahead. We know we're going to get Armageddon. It's always just a question of how much. At least one.
Yeah, looks like Armageddon will be on on the menu later, but I think I will not have the time to cover this as well. Working night shifts.
Should be equal for both men and women. So maybe history in more ways than one. We'll find out. But
It's going to be interesting.
welcome to Stavanger. Let's back up.
Let's see what is going on the other boards. Pragnanda Ding still equal. Zhu Wenjun. Ana Muzichuk gained a pawn there.
By the way, I think we're about to get our first for sure Armageddon.
It's going to be interesting.
It looks like it's headed for a draw, so we'll stay away from the purple power right now. What do we got?
Yeah, so this position, no more isolated pawns, unless you cut the white a2 pawn, I guess, which could become relevant in an endgame. The pawn structure has changed. It feels like Ding is relatively safe. He's just trying to trade off pieces now. White does have this beautiful Catalan-esque bishop on the long diagonal. Some pressure on the queen side as well.
Okay.
I think I would pick white. Anna, how about yourself?
I like White's position better now, yes, since the pawns were traded. He used to
In my opinion, the only kind of a problem with the White's position could be this knight on d2, but it can be moved on different squares. For example, like c4, if you want to force a trade and attack this bishop, maybe this is one of the ways to go.
The pawn can't be pushed because then the knight is loose.
What can black play? Can he avoid this trade? I'm thinking about can black avoid this trade? Maybe bishop c7 or bishop d8 doesn't feel good. Bishop d8 doesn't feel good at all. Bishop c7 is oh, something happened. We have what?
There we go. We were taken over there.
I think Ana Muzichuk won.
Signing of the score sheets. Remember, when we get a draw, we get at least a 10-minute break. It varies around here based on the
Did she won? It looks like Ana Muzichuk just won a pawn.
20 minutes from now, we will have
we'll see what's going on.
Zhu and Jun with the white pieces will take on a Muzichuk. So
No, it was a draw actually, but let's see what. Yeah, it was an exciting endgame, and Ana Muzichuk just won a pawn from what I saw. Quickly just glanced on the board when they were showing up all the other boards. But it's gonna be a draw, and it's gonna be Armageddon round in 10 minutes. Now they have some chess breaks.
One Armageddon battle ahead. Round 2 of the 2024 Norway chess event. And Norway chess women, we are gonna be right back.
Hikaru and Magnus are still in the battle trenches. Pia Kramling playing. Yeah, it was a draw. Oh, okay, let's hear Magnus.
I feel like he was really outplaying me for a bit, but maybe his last few moves haven't quite been incisive enough. I feel like I've stabilized. I even have some ideas of rerouting the knight, either going like rook e2, then moving the knight, playing f4, putting the knight on f3, sometimes knight g2 as well, but then I have to watch out for g5. And knight d6 is always met with knight d2, rook e8 is always met with knight d2. I don't really see a lot of ideas for him, so I think I'm okay now.
Okay, Magnus briefly mentioned this one.
Carlsen's most incredible moments as world champion. This one right here is Vishwanathan Anand with the white pieces versus Magnus Carlsen in 2013. Here we go. So this is a Nimzo Indian, famous variation, right? And the last move here was b3 from Magnus, just saying, hey man, I'm trying to queen this pawn. And of course, Anand is saying, I'm trying to mate your king. Cool, you can get your little queen. I'm just going to try to checkmate you, right? So, of course, this is a hint to move f5, b3. And he's like, cool. Vishwanathan Anand says, hey, okay, you can get this queen. I'm going to try to go for mate. So he goes queen f4, get another piece in the game. This looks very, very dangerous here. Knight c7. What the heck is going on? Knight to c7. He thought it'd be something spectacular. He was like, yeah, I'm waiting for this one. But it's just knight to c7. Defensive move. Cool. Allows f6 to happen here. f6 is going to take on g7. There's going to be kind of annoying, scary things happening with knight h5. Magnus plays G6. Okay, it's locked up. It's going to be scary.
But Queen H4, yeah, and then Queen H6.
It's going to be a wrap.
Let's see how Magnus defends this.
Okay, cool. So Magnus understands that. Vichy Anand understands that too, and plays Queen to H4. Where is he going, class? H6, right? He's about to mate. He's also trying to get the rook over here too.
Oh, Knight to E8.
Cool. With that being said, your move. What do you do now? It's black to move.
Knight to E8. What else?
Hence, Knight C7 to put the knight on E8. The
Wow.
A knight on E8 is actually F8. That's what they say.
Amazing.
Anand understands this. He said, "Oh, there's no more mate. That's cool. I'm gonna put my queen right here."
Yes. And then Rook to F4 and Rook to H4. Yeah.
Actually go for this mate on H7 because
yeah.
the G7 mate. That's cool. Perfect. Well, Magnus understands this. So what does Magnus do in this position? Black to move. Here it is. Magnus says, "Cool. You want mate? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Go for it. B2. Do your thing, big fella. Go ahead, Vishwanathan." So he said, "Okay, I will, young fella." Rook
to F4, promotion.
Wow, this is scary. Well, are you gonna get your queen? You did all of this. Are you gonna get your queen or not? Of course we are. B1 queen.
Check.
And after B1 queen,
Bishop F1. Knight to F1. Okay.
And the move here that seals the deal is what, guys? There's two queens on the board. Magnus has two queens, but is he getting mated or not? It's black to move.
Oh, it's a rook. It's queen to E1. Yeah. Wow. Wow, that's a spectacular defense and no more mate. Everything is defended. And I will just bring another queen. Wow.
Where were you putting your rook? H4. Well, I can just go rook H4, but guess what? After I capture,
yeah, pretty much.
Sacrificing one of my two queens.
Yes.
After queen takes H4. Let's do a piece count. You have a queen, you have a bishop, and a knight.
Yeah.
Queen,
Clear rook up for Magnus.
Rook, so after that,
that's incredible. Wow. That's incredible game by Magnus.
So that's a resignation, and Magnus wins. That's incredible, right?
Hello, Manuel. Welcome to the stream. Right now, the position is equal. Hikaru is slightly better. Hikaru played really well in the opening. He not completely, but outplayed Magnus in the opening. Surprised him with his preparation. He did really well in the opening, but now the position is almost equal. Although Hikaru is slightly better, but of course, by computer evaluation, so you need to have in mind that this is only humans playing, and humans need to finish these games off. Of course, this is not a decisive win, but Hikaru is doing better. He simply has more space, and as you can see from the board, hopefully they will now switch it on, and you will see the position as in the live. You just see here. I had a deja vu.
Round 2 continues in Norway chess. Welcome in, everybody. We're live in Stavanger, Norway.
I'll let you finish yours.
We had a draw between Anna Muzichuk and Venjun, and they were gonna play Armageddon, so it's gonna be more Armageddon, I'm thinking. Surely.
That you've just had. We have very short breaks here, and we try to get food in by any means possible. And poor Mr. Danny Rensch is still munching when we went live. So welcome to our live coverage.
Wait a minute, didn't Magnus say he will not be playing a chess for a year? Yes. And it was a long time ago he said that, but looks like he will be playing chess. Maybe he said about regular FIDE chess, something like regular championships and stuff like that. But these Swiss tournaments and stuff like Norway chess and these kind of events when there is a lower time controls, he will play. I'm not sure. I remember this statement, but I don't know. I didn't remember it clearly. But as I recall, it was something. All corners of the globe, but it was something regarding that long time formats he will not play. But this is classical chess. This is 2 hours per opponent, and yeah, this is a classical time format. You have to write your chess games and stuff like that. You have to write your chess moves. So yeah.
Maybe Dingley, Ren, and Pragnananda Ramesh Babu, but I think everyone else has relocated
That is very true. Some relocated in terms of cities, others relocated in terms of country. Alireza Firouzja already representing France and living in France.
These are their hometowns indeed, and all right.
I mentioned Alireza, but I think I should have mentioned the more obvious. Hikaru doesn't represent Japan. I don't think he ever played for Japan. He always represented the States, or did he ever?
No, yeah,
have
he
the
always
Japanese
represented the
flag?
States. Moved to the U.S. when he was very young, and was always competing for the U.S. as he became a well-known commodity in the chess world. Also at a very young age, he was very young when that happened. So, all right.
This is the ladies.
Let's now do the same for our players competing in the Norway Chess Women event. We've got once again a pretty diverse crew here from all over the place, and again, I wish I could say whether I knew everyone is living in their hometown, but I feel like it actually is much closer to home.
I would like to say it's the case.
I want to see Magnus and Hikaru game. I want to see it analyzed and see what is going on. Hikaru has the space advantage. Hikaru is doing it
Back in the day, and it still is heartbreaking. I believe she now lives in Spain because of the war in her country.
I would like to see that game. I'm really looking forward to that game.
Closer to home, as you said, Danny, and Pia Kramling. She's close to home here in Norway, Stockholm. It's not that far away. A short drive down the road. So Pia Kramling, a bit of a home favourite here at Norway Chess. And yeah, we do have another Armageddon. We mentioned earlier, I was going to say Zhu and June hanging form yesterday. Really impressive in her Armageddon. She's going to be looking forward to this game. I think with White, she's in good stead right now.
Well, let's go back to the bird's eye view and remind everybody where we sit. There is one game.
So as you can see, Zhu and Jun and Muzichuk are drawn. Lei Tingye having advantage on Anna Kramling. Pia Kramling. Vaishali fighting against Koneru. Pragnanda now kind of slightly worse against Dingliren. And Fabiano equalized the game with the move King to f7 against Alireza Firouzja. And Firouzja now thinking a lot. He had a huge advantage, and he missed the opportunity to take this game into a much favorable position for him, Alireza Firouzja. So now Fabiano equalized it, and Firouzja still has a small clock advantage, but it was a huge advantage. It was like 1 hour and 13 minutes for Firouzja. Against Fabiano was like 29 minutes on the clock or something like this. It was insane. Fabiano really spent a lot of time thinking, but now Alireza thinks, and finally he played bishop c5 here, the move for Alireza Firouzja. Position is equal, and Magnus also equalized the position from what I saw from the board. Now they're checking what is this. Riot Games just popping up.
We loved Humpy Canaru's position just a few turns ago. It looked like she was keeping things solid. Let's jump in. Bishop e6 was when we last left it.
Rook to g1.
I mean, one track mind here by Charlie. She really wants to hammer home the g pawn and open up the black king. But,
We have a trade of...
opportunity to do so. Humpy Canaru trades off a bunch of pieces.
Yeah, a lot of trades. Queen f3, b4.
Open the a file as well. The white rook on a1 was actually defended by the white knight, but I don't think he wanted to invite the white knight into the corner, unlike Hikaru Nakamura in his game. But I guess this was playable. Maybe a way of simplifying the position. Instead, a4 far more ambitious. And if white gets a couple of moves, if white gets knight c5 into the e4 outpost and is able to break open the king side, Vaishali is doing great. But Humpy, I was going to say, she needs to find something dynamic. She plays the move rook to a6. That's a rook lift if I ever saw one.
Yeah. How's that for dynamic, right?
Brilliant rook to a6 by Humpy.
By highlighting what you just did, by swinging over to f6 potentially.
Yeah, going to f6, attacking this queen.
Aggressive move too. The rook can go anywhere on the 6th rank with devious intentions. By the way, there's a queen h4 check just to watch out for. At any moment, there might be a check.
Yes, another move here for... but Vaishali can block it with queen to g3, so it's not too scary.
White can't castle long anymore, Anna, which means Vaishali is... she's dug herself into an all-in type of position now.
I think it has been almost her strategy for the game. I don't know if she decided before the game or during the opening phase, but she went all in from the moment she started pushing her H-pawn, deciding she wasn't gonna castle kingside, not going solid. She wanted to go and attack on the king side. Also, obviously, having to agree to the fact that her own king might become a target and is a target. I wouldn't be surprised if she wants to play maybe king e2 at some point to connect her rooks and move the king to the second rank, somewhere on the second rank. I don't know if it's any better or safer, but you do want to connect the rooks at some point, and then she could write on the score sheet the delayed on cloud.
That is always an advantage. That's always
Only move 21, so players didn't play that many moves, so you need to move 40 before you reach 10-second increment per move. So you don't receive a time increment when you reach move 40, but you receive 10 seconds per move. This is the time format.
For sure, that's always on your mind. But no, it's going to be interesting. She's now under 20 minutes. Remember, move 40 is the first finish line to get a bonus on every move from that point forward of 10 seconds. So okay.
Feels like knight to d2. I'm just gonna say, it feels like it might be forced.
Oh, so classical win, 3 points. Draw. You don't receive points with a draw. That's the thing. Classical win gets you 3 points. So if you win in classical chess, then that gets you 3 points. Armageddon 1.5. Armageddon loss, you get 1 point. So that's good. I really like this format, keeping the game close. So if you play Armageddon, you're only half points behind your opponent. And classical chess is the way to go in this tournament. So you have to go for a win in classical chess. Of course, easier said than done, but this brings a lot more points. You need 2 Armageddon wins, unlike 1 classical win would bring you much more than 1 Armageddon win. That would be amazing.
And if you're hoping Canero, I mean, you might as well push the young player into that time scramble situation, right? You're not looking for Armageddon in any way. You know you have an edge. I would think she does. So
we'll see.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's just following a narrative. Young player against experienced player. You expect the young player to...
I want to see Hikaru and Magnus's game. I want to see that. Why do they not show that?
Coordinating her pieces, not taking any risk, and that's what Humpy's doing. And with a time advantage, it feels like she's a big favorite in this clash. It reminds me of when I was kind of coming up in England. We had this one big number one, Michael Adams. Anytime I played him, I would try and do something crazy. I would burn all my time on the clock trying to be creative, and he would just sit there, do nothing, and then take his chances when they came. And it feels like that. Vaishali wants to beat the top dog in her country. She wants to beat Humpy. But this game might not be the one for her yet.
Do you think she went to...
Yeah, Vaishali now is in a time trouble, so this is not going to be easy for her. We'll see if she can get some resources. I am not sure.
I love Humpy's last move for k6.
I totally agree.
Yeah, it's such a great move to activate the rook that was just sitting in the corner, and there's so many potential...
amazing idea here by, of course...
on the king side, helpful on the queen side. I really like it for Humpy, and I think for Vaishali,
by Humpy.
the position and the time situation are both something to worry about.
I want to point out one other thing I didn't even fully realize, David, about Rook A6. Queen H4 check was something I mentioned as not that, it was always be aware of the checks on the board, right? But White could play Queen F2, trade queens in that spot, and the king would take back, and it wouldn't have been a big deal. But with the Rook on A6, now it's a threat, because after the queens are traded, the black rook comes to A8, and that A4 pawn is in big trouble. You may not even be able to save it, right? Because A5, there's B6, and so I'm just kind of looking at the position further and wondering, you know, obviously Vaishali now more than 5 minutes. Here you go. She slides.
Yeah, Vaishali
which,
queen.
by the way, means the Queen H4 check will force the white king into the fray. Not even sure it's needed, but be aware of it, right? So yeah, this is going to be tough. She will remain under time pressure throughout the classical affair here. She has 18 moves more to make. She's on move 22. And not a lot of time to do it. Less than a minute of move from here on out for Vaishali. So,
Bomb cloud incoming, maybe.
Bomb
Queen
cloud.
H4.
Anna gets her way. The delayed bomb cloud for the win. We'll see if Queen H4 check happens. But again, I mean, if you're I mean, you can even play like rook c6 first, hit c2, and then maybe queen h4 check is even stronger. Anyway, there's a lot to think about here. We're gonna let Hikaru do it.
Not so much time here, as they mentioned. This is really interesting. You have 1 minute per move. Hikaru again, slightly better, although this is equal position. This would probably end up in a draw.
It was a great potential attack for black if he missed it.
Konero Vaishali. We saw that Firuzia, okay, Caruana just drawn the game, still thinking. Dingleren slightly better with this move, knight to e4 now. Pragnananda thinks, and Lei Tingji and Pia Kramling are now fighting. Very, very close games, all of those. Now rook to c8 is marked as with a question mark, so it is a mistake according to the computer. So we'll see if this is really it.
Figure out what is it that she needs to do. Her position is no longer better. If anything, it might be close to being lost.
Yeah, it's interesting because I wonder why the computer says b4 is the only way to maintain this advantage. I think white would still be better, but again, the arrow is suggested when it's the only good move
We'll
to
see.
maintain kind of the current eval, or in some cases turn it around completely.
So b4 is the move for
Because I like white's position anyway.
b4 is the move for white.
Black has on rook c8. The computer's giving it a question mark, but what is the threat here that makes b4 the only move to maintain the edge? I wonder.
It's a mystery. Danny,
Okay, well, it's been played, so either way she found it.
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
b4 found.
Some blue arrows are easier to find than others, and this was maybe the most natural move in the position. Maybe it was just that black was trying to trade off bishops, the dark squared bishops.
Okay.
And if you didn't seize that moment, then white's bishop might have been kicked back to a bad square and it might have been locked behind a pawn after e3. But here, bishop f6, to my eye, still looks like the most natural. I'm wondering how Lei Tingji aims to meet that one. Will she trade off simply? Maybe she can trade. A bit awkward for black either way right now. I just don't see any moves. Pia Kramling looks like body posture. She's about to make a move. But what is it? If we just jump in and show that, trading off a bishop pair tends to be favorable, but yeah, maybe white shouldn't take, but in this position I was going to say g5 still feels a bit painful with bishop g4 to come in the near future. This might be black's best bet though in practical terms, otherwise she's suffering for nothing here, Anna.
Yeah, I agree that she perhaps should try to exchange
b4 here is the main idea.
But I also even wonder, after bishop f6, can Lei just move the bishop away and stick to the pair of bishops?
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, and then b4 may have just been critical to also stop further activity at all. I mean, black no longer has any type of knight c5, knight d3. Not sure that was an idea, but I was wondering if black had some way to try to open the position with the white king on g2. But now it's like black is fighting for squares, fighting for a plan. b4 controls everything. So, super tough. And not quite the time pressure by Shali's in.
Yeah, but it's getting close.
But it's getting there.
Getting very close to. Just one last thing about this b4, by the way, because I think if we mark the pawns, David, could you mark all the queenside pawns for white? That this is very important. This is the classic bathtub formation. I learned it for Grandmaster Peter Swidler, and I thought I need to share because Hikaru referred to it also in his game review yesterday on his YouTube channel, and I think more and more people need to be aware that this is a pawn formation to aim for, the bathtub.
It's 100% true. Your ability to deliver the...
Okay, Juven Jun and Anna Muzičukar starting with the Armageddon game.
...is only eclipsed by the fact that we have a more exciting Armageddon game going on here. Juven Jun takes on Anna Muzičuk, our first Armageddon battle of the day in round 2 here at Norway Chess. And we're gonna get the chess up in a second here, but we see both players fully engaged, and here we go. A different opening than we just had. What do we got?
Interesting move. So as you can see, black is low on time, but white has a time advantage, and white has to win. So white cannot draw. If white draws, black wins. That's how it's counted. So it counts like a loss for white.
Game here.
That's how it goes.
Structure is going to favor in the Armageddon.
That's a great question, and I think just to recap real quickly, the format for those who are just joining us, this is an Armageddon tiebreaker. The classical game ended in a draw, and now the players are facing each other in Armageddon, same color as they had in the classical game, but meaning the Jew and June with the white pieces starts with 10 minutes, needs to win. Black starts with 3 minutes less, only 7 minutes at the beginning of the game, but has draw odds. So I am really curious how this will go for Ju Jun. Yesterday she won her Armageddon game with the white pieces fairly smoothly, I would say, and confidently. Can she do the same today, or will Anna hold, knowing that a draw is enough? She can be
Yeah,
solid.
draw is enough.
Agreed, and to answer your question, David, I feel like it's not that closed yet, right? So it's a closed position, but it's what we call semi-closed, because white can play d4, right? And when d4 is played, white also has the bishop pair. So no, there are no open lines or direct diagonals in files just yet, but okay, and here comes c5 is a move that tries to prevent d4, mainly because then black can play c4 and kind of sideline the white bishop there. So that's kind of a key move there. In fact, I really like that move. The more I think about it, now I'm leaning a little
Okay,
bit
interesting.
staying closed makes me like Honor Muzicek's chances. As Anna just said, if black gets a draw, that is the Armageddon format, then black is the winner. So I'm liking where this is going for Anna right now, I'll say that.
Yeah, it's what the other Anna mentioned, just playing solid. Is you kind of have that luxury. She's played quite quickly up to this point. She's spent a minute
It's
and a half
8:13 here. I have to do some chores, have to do some work before I go to my job. I hate that we couldn't see Magnus Carlsen's game. But if you guys watch, please watch it. It's a really interesting game. Still goes on. Position is pretty much equal. Hikaru has slight advantage. This is going to be probably very interesting until it will last even more. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will have to end my stream here. Have to get ready for my work. I really appreciate all of you who joined me, who said hello, and we will see each other tomorrow. Tomorrow, I don't know if I will stream this way or we will simply play chess. I think we will play chess. Thank you so much for joining, and enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the great chess on Norway Chess, and see you tomorrow, guys.